We will be using the pre-generated characters from the box set for anybody who is watching. So if you're interested in those characters, they're in there. It is a fantastic box set for the price, and I'm not just shilling for Free League, although I kind of am because they're awesome. But there's so much in there. We will not be playing any of the campaign from the box set, at least not with me, because I like to make my own stuff. Strain just recently got the expanded bestiary and the hardcover rulebook, which also looked very, very nice. Ange says we have no music, so I don't know if there's anything for that. Oh, never mind. She hears it now. So what we will be playing is essentially like a one-sheet kind of thing that I've written for Dragonbane that is available out there if you know where to look for my stuff. If you want to look for my stuff, you have to join our Discord because my links are in my profile on our Discord, so you can come join us and learn more about it there. But yeah, we'll be playing a little thing called Dolgrim's Forge tonight. So as the pre-generated characters, you are all, we're going to assume, have worked together in the past. You are an existing adventuring party, and you have picked up a job in the city of Outskirt, which is the kind of primary city in the Misty Vale in the box set. And that job is to look for an old abandoned forge. A dwarven merchant in the city of Outskirt has requested that you find this forge that was once the home of one of the great weaponsmiths of his people. Oh yeah, he's holding up the map, the cloth map. That's Outskirt.
That's
down there at the bottom.
Oh yes. Sorry, now I've got to fold it up and put it away in packaging.
And luckily, the forge is supposed to be in the mountains just to the southeast of Outskirt. So you might need to trek for a few days, but once you're up there, he gives you a general idea of where you want to go. And then whomever in the party is trained in bushcraft, which I believe is Orlin, Max's character, is probably the most trained. You'll have to kind of find a way there, just using some scant details and information given to you by this dwarven merchant, who has also agreed to pay you a total of 125 gold pieces for the location of this ancient forge. So yeah, is there anything you all want to do in the city of Outskirt before you leave to head off and look for this place? Yeah.
Should we introduce our characters and who we're playing and what we're playing, so the audience can, of course, visualize our characters?
That's a really good idea, Strain. Why don't we start with you?
Damn. I am Bastian Bloodjaw, a wolfkin, a wolfman, basically. Graying white fur, studded leather armor, lots of browns, lots of clothing that would indicate he's not from a large town or a city, but from a village or a settlement. I carry 2 spears. I have a long spear and I have a short spear. Bastian he likes his food. The players, the group have known that every chance he gets, if there's a fine meal, he will sit down and enjoy that meal. He's scarred, has a wiry look, but he's very loyal to his friends. But he can be very menacing towards his foes. His clothes, although they are rugged and rural, are in very good condition. And he often has attached to his belt a blue bottle of perfume. And he will often just dab some of this lavender perfume on him. Maybe it's the natural wolf smell that some of the normal people just can't appreciate. He likes to enjoy himself. Good food and a fine smell.
Nice.
That's me.
Who would like to go next?
No one.
No one, you cowards!
Oh, no.
You have to call him out, I think, but I'll go next since I spoke next.
Okay.
And Chris the Bold. But don't let my small size fool you. I could hide from danger with the best of them, and help you hide too. I quite enjoy sitting around a nice campfire, telling stories that never happened with other members that may or may not believe such stories. I prefer traveling with groups of strong, brave people such as yourselves, and have enjoyed the many adventures we have shared in the past. The reason for why I'm in the Vale is I'm less known here, and I don't do well amongst places that I'm better known to be at.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Who's next?
Can I go then?
All right.
I am playing the old man of the group. Strangely, somehow I don't know how that happened. Archmaster Aedan, a tall and wiry gent with bushy eyebrows, inquisitive eyes. From an early age, he's been fascinated with fire. Make of that what you will. Sent to a school of magicians after he accidentally burned down a barn on the family farm. He's learned the secrets of magic, but thirst for a deeper knowledge has made him restless. And after a few years of traveling, he's joined this miscreant company of adventurers for an expedition. I'm done.
I guess I'll go next. I am Orlin Moonsilver, a very stoic, very quiet, very zen type of elf. Very astute about myself. I always have my bow at hand and my knife in need. I travel from the south to the Misty Vale to seek adventure, to see where my destiny goes. But who knows where it leads.
And finally,
So I am Makanda of Half Bay, or as others may know of me, I'm Makanda, the Mallard Defender. I'm a strong and sturdy Mallard, adorned in plate armor, a shield, and a battle axe, ready for what may come my way. Although, when provoked, I'm very, very quick to anger, but I do what needs to be must, and I will protect those that need it.
right. So, assuming that you have provisions, I don't know, does anybody have provisions, or are you planning on letting Orlin hunt for you
Yes.
while you travel? And that's what he's good at.
Yeah, I mean, provisions wouldn't be too bad. To get.
Sure. You
I've
leave
got a flint and
outskirt.
tinder if we need to
Me
cook
too.
it.
You head to you leave outskirt, heading to the southeast towards the mountains. Just threw up a nice little picture of an old road, dwarven make, but now crumbling, heading up into the mountains. And while still close to outskirt, the plains, and surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, considering Bastion's love of lavender, the lavender fields are quite nice. Although, as you get closer to the foot of the mountain, it does start to rain. And as I have heard some people refer to it in the past, it's absolutely pissing down rain. It is thick and heavy, fat in some instances. Some of the raindrops are so big they almost hurt when they strike you on the head, for those of you who are not wearing any kind of head covering. And it's a bit of work. It might take you a day or two to get to the mountain, and then maybe a day or so longer to head up into the heights and find this forge. Let's go ahead and get our first roll of the game and get a bushcraft roll from Orlin.
All right.
To find the path.
All right. I'm gonna do.
Orland, wouldn't it be better to find some shelter or something from the rain? I mean, surely we don't want to be traveling in this downpour. Perhaps that is where you should concentrate your efforts.
Well, we'll see where it goes. Oh, I meant to roll 1, but so I just re-roll that, or
Yeah, why don't you just roll 1? Because I don't think either of those was a success. Oh, you did it again. Just 1. There you go.
There
8.
Nice.
Yeah.
I believe that's under your bushcraft.
Yeah, bushcraft is to 12. So
Okay. So yeah, couple of false starts on the die rolls there, but that is a success, and so you're able to find the path following some of the little bits that the dwarven merchant gave you. He mentioned trees that are planted in certain ways, in that they grow from the side of rocks and then up. He mentioned a couple of stone obelisks that you've managed to find the rubble of as you head up into the mountains. And so you think you're on the right path. Unfortunately, you do have to go quite high, and the higher you go, the more you get into essentially the realm of glacier, and the rocks in places become quite slippery due to ice. I think we're going to do this one at a time, but I think I'm going to have everybody make either, let's do your choice of either an acrobatics roll or an evade roll, whichever is better for you. Some of you might not be great in either, to avoid hurting yourself on the ice and the rocks. I'm going to go in order of what I see in Discord. We'll start with Jake. Why don't you give me the better of those two?
I actually, they're both the same. I am going to be doing evade. Orman.
However, hang on. Before you roll, let me say this. Because Orlin was successful in finding the trail, though, and he is leading you as best as he can, I'm going to let everybody make this roll with a boon. So you're going to roll 2 dice and take the best one for your roll.
All right. I will. But I'm still going to be... Orlin, some of these raindrops are bigger than me. All right, so rolling an 11 and 19, so the 11 is
the better, yeah, because we're trying to roll low for those watching, if you're not familiar with Dragonbane.
Which means I just made it by a scant 3 points.
Nice.
Nice.
Next on my list, we'll go with Aoden, Mark, who's probably not terribly skilled in either. Although, you're muted.
I'm going to go with evade, I think.
Hang on. You trained in evade?
I've got evade of 10. Does that help?
Oh, that's not bad. So what I was going to tell you is you're human, which means you're adaptive. You could actually spend 3 willpower points to use a different skill.
It seems a little bit early to be spending willpower points, I think.
So willpower actually comes back really quickly, comparatively. So willpower as a resource is something that people use to activate their abilities and use magic. You can actually, there are a couple of different ways you can regain willpower. One is you can take a round rest, which you can do once per stretch, which is about like, what is a stretch, Strain? Like 20 minutes, 15 20 minutes? Yeah. And for that, you can roll a d6 and regain that much will, and that only takes a round. You can do a stretch rest, which allows you to restore will, but that is basically like a short rest for people who are familiar with D&D. And if you do a long rest, then if I recall correctly, your will is completely restored with a long rest, but that's like sleeping overnight. So will does recover pretty quickly.
Okay. I'm still going to go with my not spending any right now, though, if I may.
Fair enough. Yeah.
5.
And you succeeded. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So next on the list, I have Orlin. And you will also receive the boon for your fantastic bushcraft and travel abilities.
All right.
Again, best of acrobatics or evade.
They're about the same, so I'm going to do acrobatics. And
Okay.
I just rolled 2 dice. And I rolled a 2 and a 7, so
Whoa.
I guess the 2 succeeds pretty well.
The 2 does succeed very well. Next on the list, we have Tony McCander.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll acrobatics. Just stomping through, but trying to like stretch, I think, a little bit to try and get to these places. So maybe doing a hop
Sure.
and a skip. So it's 2. So it's a 16 and a 4.
Okay, so we'll take the 4.
Quick thing. Is Makander wearing plate armor?
Yeah, McCander is wearing plate armor.
So Makander
technically
may
you
have
would have
a...
had a Bane.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the
sorry.
boon cancels that out.
Ooh.
So let's try that roll one more time with a single d20.
Sorry.
Still a success. Still a 4.
Ah, nice.
You're very correct, Strain. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's
I don't
so-
know. So I think the only other person we need to worry about is Bastion has an issue with sneaking.
Have any an action with sneaking, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then
I rolled a 3.
a 3. Excellent. So everybody succeeds. Nobody takes any further harm, although you are maybe scrabbling a bit to maintain your footing.
I would add, though, or, again, not for myself. I'm concerned about Odin. He's far too ancient to be out in weather like this.
Wow.
Honestly, we should probably find some shelter. I mean, for his sake, it's not right to subject an old man to the weather that is befallen us.
So as Chris is making these comments, some of you might notice that as you're slipping and kind of dealing with the uneven ground, you do see in front of you what appears to be an opening in the mountain. It is regular. It is probably, if you had to guess, about 15 feet across, wide, and maybe twice as much of that tall. And it definitely looks carved. There
There might be shelter ahead. We should head there.
There is above as if you approach, there's a plaque that shows a crossed hammer, or rather a hammer crossed over an anvil, which the dwarven merchant had told you was Dolgrim's mark.
Ooh. So this could be what we're looking for.
And quite timely as well, just in time to get us out of this.
And I appreciate your concern, Master Orland, but you need not worry about me.
Well, I as you can see, I worry about everybody in the party. And we have come to this wonderful place, this wonderful shelter. Thanks to Master Orr. Thank you so much. That was good navigating.
let's get out of this rain. Come on. Go.
So I called you all in, didn't I? Sorry.
Is your feathers getting rough, my little friend?
No, they're very wet. I'd like to get out of this rain, thank you. Come on.
You are a duck. You're kind of built for it.
Nice weather for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's not very good on the metal armor.
I don't know. It's good to be out of the rain, but does anybody find it cold and drafty in this cave? Do you think maybe they'd have a fire somewhere in a forge? Maybe we should search that out and warm up.
It is quite cold, and as you enter the cave, as Chris has claimed it, it's not really a cave. I mean, it is a worked hall. This is uniformly about 15 feet wide, 30 feet tall, and it goes deep. And I mean, you're easily, if you decide to walk back into it, you're easily traveling for at least a few minutes and still not seeing anything but this hall. Does anybody have a light source that they want to use, or are we just relying on the light coming from behind us?
I do have a torch, but
Yes.
I might think that there might be sconces in the wall. Not that I could reach any of them, but perhaps there are unlit torches and sconces. This place is magnificently built. I mean, honestly, why they would build a ceiling 3 times as necessary in a place like this, a lot of work and effort for nothing. But okay,
So
some people have time.
you're not wrong, though. As you mention it and you look, there are some torch sconces, and they do contain torches. Whether or not they'll light is a different matter, but who knows? From the way that the dwarven merchant spoke of this place, it is quite old. So they might flare up for a moment or two if you were to bring your own torch to them, but I don't know that they'd stay lit. You can certainly try, though, if anyone wants to.
I'm gonna attempt one of them with my flint and steel, and I look over to my short friend. It's like, well, there's a reason why sometimes doors make them so big. I think they're trying to overcompensate sometimes. That's what I've heard.
Wow.
put aside your flint and tinder, and I will use ignite to.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, you ignite the torch, closest to you, just with a spark from your finger, and it does catch, and it's burning, but you don't feel like it'll last long. It's been here so long, a lot of the pitch has probably dried up, so it's really just ancient, tattered cloth of some kind wrapped around a stick.
Well, that's quite telling, I say. I mean, I would think a forge would be more active, and then their lighting and torches would be more kept up to date. That this would indicate that this place has been kind of abandoned, let go, not utilized. Or perhaps as you were applying your crafts to find us this place, did you notice anything odd or anything dangerous around the area? Perhaps tracks of wild animals that could explain why somebody would abandon such a place?
Would I notice anything like that coming up toward the cave? Like just basically looking anything coming in and out of it?
Sure, I get what you're saying. Let's do a bit of a flashback for you then, since Orlin was kind of on point, and let's have you make a awareness roll, I think we'll go with.
Should I do awareness too, or?
Oh no, that's for you, Max. That's for Orlin. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nope, I didn't see anything. My awareness is 12.
So you.
Oh, well, that's good then. That means that this place was safe. Perhaps
hang
you're
on.
just on holiday.
Hang on. You do remember as you were traveling up into the mountains that a couple of times you think it's been raining steadily and the cloud cover is heavy, but you think maybe there was some kind of a shadow of something flying over. But you're not sure what. Not a whole lot of things fly through the air, though. Big things. Now, whether or not you want to pass that information on is completely up to you.
I will pass that information on. So there was something flying in the sky, supposedly, but can't really tell the way the weather was. It could have been a cloud, or could have just been a mirage, or whatever it is. But I'll keep looking about. Maybe if I see something later on, I'll let people know. But I think we should be safe for now.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you know what? Since the weather is so inclement outside, anyways, we may as well, just check this place out, make sure it's safe. Perhaps they left some stores, something that is non-perishable that we could, have a nice meal with.
Food.
Now, let me ask this.
Food. Sounds good. Yes.
Yeah. Who would have been the last one into the cave? Into the opening, I should say. The hall.
I'm gonna say it probably would have been me, just because of my
Stride.
my little
Wanting to
weakness
be in
or whatever it
front.
is. Yeah.
I know I would have been one of the first. I mean, that would have been easy enough.
Okay. Yeah, because you wanted to get out of the rain. Let's
my
have
weakness, yeah.
let's have Aoden also make an awareness roll for me.
Awareness. Ooh.
Or not awareness. Let's do spot hidden, actually.
Okay.
Or whichever is better for him.
They're the same, so I failed.
All right. Now, if anybody else would like to think that you were being particularly focused as you entered, I will allow you to make a similar roll. If anybody thinks that they had their head on a swivel, essentially looking things. I'm not going to give it to this because I really think he was trying to get inside.
I would be smelling the inside of the cave to see what it smelled like as I come in. That would have been what I've been focusing on.
It's dry. It's very dry. Would anybody else want to justify having been looking around as you entered, or did we all just go in?
I just went in. Bastian just went in.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I know.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry.
I did notice the duck splash in the puddle, like just prior to entering the cave, though. So
Not splash so
quite
much
possible.
as an angry stomp, I would imagine.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. I think Makanda would, shooing everybody in and trying to get in, trying to get the rain stop pounding on his plate. But yeah, he definitely would be having a look around, because he, it's very much I will protect those I'm with, because
Okay.
So
I'll buy that.
Checking. It wouldn't be so much as everywhere, but it would definitely be the immediate vicinity and where everyone's going. If they're going off in different directions, just to check, right, is anybody in immediate danger or anything like that, sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and give me a awareness or spot hidden roll, whichever one is better for you.
They are both the same, so we'll go with awareness. It's 1. 11. No.
No. Okay.
Actually,
I'm not going to let Orlin do it, though, because Orlin was focusing on pathfinding, so not so much the ability there. Okay, so you're inside. You've been going inside for a few minutes.
I'm going to suggest that we light our own torches from the one that I've just lit. These torches don't appear to be in good condition. I do not think they will last long. I suggest we light our own from it.
So you really only need, if you're staying together, you really only need one. It's going to shed light at a pretty good distance.
Then that is what we'll do.
Okay. So whoever wants to hold that, just keep that in mind in terms of being able to use both hands. You're going to have to hold the torch, unless you take an action to slot it into a sconce on the wall, which I will also allow.
I'll use mine then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because you've got your little staff.
Yeah.
You can hold that with one hand. You just can't swing it effectively.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, I shouldn't call it a little staff. It's taller than you. That sounded very dismissive. So yeah,
This guy's staff shamed.
yeah. So you have a lit torch. You're heading further in.
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to go until you can't anymore, or is there a certain distance you're going to travel in?
Well, I mean, perhaps Orc could examine the floor, tell us if anybody else has passed here recently. It does look quite abandoned. Prior to us going in the whole way.
Is it just one straight passageway that we've been following for a while, and there's no
there's been
tunnels leading off?
Nope.
I mean, this is what we came here for. I suggest we continue until we can no longer.
There's not really even any kind of like art to it. I mean, this is well constructed. It's clearly, especially to Aoden, who's got some knowledge of myth and legend and history and things like that. It's clearly of dwarven make. No mistaking that. But it's not like there's anything. There's no. What's the word I'm looking for? There's no frescoes. There's no.
Yeah, there's no aesthetics.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Big work for Saturday night.
Well, I'll come and guard you as you move, and the rest can follow us behind.
I'm considering something, and I don't think that we should necessarily leave here until at least the bad weather has passed. But maybe this was created as a fake forge to lure people away from going to the real forge. Now that would be smart.
But would you make it just one single tunnel? What would be the point? One could just walk to the end of the tunnel and then realize there is nothing here and walk back.
Perhaps they haven't thought it through out.
So, after a time, probably about 15 to 20 minutes, you would guess at this point you're easily a mile into the mountain.
Wow.
Hey, a 15, 20 minute walk, that's not, for healthy adventurers, that's about a mile.
Yeah.
And yeah, just a straight shot. Level, straight, no up or down. There was quite a bit of mountain still above you. But yeah, you're...
As the duck flies, I believe is the expression.
As the duck flies. And yeah, so eventually you do come to basically a point where the tunnel splits. Not much, though. So the wall is... just severe, flat in front of you, and then it splits into two equally sized smaller tunnels that end almost immediately in what appear to be very large doors. The door on the left has a massive stone sword set in it, and the sword is covered in runes. But it's a part of the door, right? So the door itself is a sculpture. It's not like inlaid into it. The door on the right bears a similar image, but this one, or not image, it's actually sticking out. But this one is a shield. Again, clearly of dwarven make, dwarven runes across it. Does anybody speak dwarven?
No, but clearly somebody is showing off here now.
I do not know.
We should go this way.
Maybe.
Tell you what, why don't everybody... We'll go one at a time. We'll start with Aoden, because he's probably the most likely. Why don't everybody give me a myths and legends test to determine whether or not you know any dwarven. One at a time, starting with Aoden.
I do not.
No, he doesn't.
Wow.
Okay. Let's see if anybody else is able to get by. Anybody else? Well, I'll go to the top of my list that I can see. Jake, give me a myths and legends roll.
All right, let's do this. How come? All right, forgive me. Nope, but thank you for letting me roll.
Max. We're going one at a time so that the rolls can be seen by everybody who's watching, rather than them all just flying at once.
All right, let's see how it goes.
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh man.
It's gonna be McCander. Tony, give me a Myths and Legends roll. I just know it.
I ate that duck.
Oh, close. What do we have?
Yeah.
No? Oh, yeah?
You made it.
What is it? Yes.
Yeah, I got 10 in Myth and Legends, so yeah.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and let Strain make that roll as well.
Come on. Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yes!
Wow.
Yes!
A crit success. A crit success. Yay.
So the first thing that happens is
I have
we
5.
check Myths and Legends, because like some BRP and Call of Cthulhu based games, in this game you learn by doing. So Strain will automatically get an attempt to increase his Myths and Legends roll after this particular adventure.
Nice.
But yeah, that's a critical success. So Tony, you clearly can read the Dwarven and understand the sword talks about essentially it's describing services, right? Like repair, design, creation. Think of it like a giant billboard. And the sword side describes weapons, and the shield side describes armor. Strain, though, as you're reading through this, something about hospitality, dwarven hospitality comes to you. Everyone knows very well that dwarves hold grudges, but less known is how hospitable they are when you are engaging with them in their place of business or in their homes. And so you remember having dealt with dwarves on a pretty regular basis, and not only do you speak Dwarven enough to get by, for a wolfkin, but you also know some of their common sayings, such as oaths of goodwill, oaths of hospitality, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the information you get.
We should go through that door. Pointing to the shield door.
Why that door, my friend?
I speak a little dwarven. I've dealt with the dwarves before. And hospitality is as equally important to them as grudges. So we should be defensive in our actions, and we should go through the shield door.
Interesting.
I think he sounds like he knows the best. And defense
I
is
once
better
had
than
a
offense.
6-course meal with a dwarven blacksmith. Oh, he had an appetite that was rivaled my own.
So we going in the door?
Yeah.
It sounds to me like somebody's already halfway through it.
So as you push on it, it actually doesn't open.
Oh.
I'd like to take a look at that just to kind of see if I could notice any catches or anything that might help us.
Absolutely.
There is something to this.
Give me a spot hidden roll for Chris. Trying to do it, Jake.
Yes. That's fine. I mean, you're a good sport and a gentleman all the time. So I'm looking for a 12 or under, and I rolled a 20,
No.
which I think means that if I push it, I will actually wind up hurting myself somehow, correct? Or I just can't push it to 20.
If you
actually
push
forgot
it,
about
you'll
pushing.
take a condition anyway.
Or have
Yeah.
I hurt myself already?
Pushing pushing is an option on a roll, but when you push a roll, you actually take a condition tied to one of your statistics, which then means any roll that you make based off of that statistic until you have a chance to clear that condition has a bane.
Right.
With a critical failure, though, generally you can't push a roll.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not going to push it anyways. I'm going to suggest the interpretation of this means that this door is well fortified, and we shouldn't try to go through this. But luckily, we have another door that we could go through.
You honestly can't even see how this door would open. To you, this is little more than a wall.
It's
there's
just
no
a
door
fancy
handle.
decoration.
However, though, I believe with a critical failure, even then, you also get a check. You get checks on critical failures and critical successes. So you get a check on your spot hidden.
Okay. Well, I'll put that there now.
Okay. So, checking the other door. If anybody goes to the sword and tries to open that door is also not moving. Now, this is where we come to that critical success that Bastion made. As I said, you know some words, some phrases to deal with hospitality and such, and you feel like, because of your critical success, if you speak an oath of goodwill in Dwarvish, you can probably get the door to open.
Let me try this, everybody. It's not about brute strength. It's about intention. And in Dwarven, I will give a greeting that I come in peace, in search of hospitality.
And the door opens smooth as butter for you. It takes...
Wow.
You feel like all you would have to do is place your finger on it and press it, and it would open.
Is the intention that we have when we come here. Hospitality.
Makanda will try and be at the door and give it a hefty push, and then just like, that's how you do it.
So like you were pushing it right as he was? I gotcha.
Yeah.
So clearly Makander believes he just pushed the door open.
Right.
And then just like,
after you, Master Knights.
He was going to turn and say the same to you, but it's like, okay. I just opened the door, so okay.
Yeah.
And make my way.
So now that we're opening the door, I think that's a good time to move this. And show off the map.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So you should be able to see the map and all of your little tokens there now. I'm not concerned about fog of war or anything like that. There are things in there, and you will find them as you go. So you've opened... Which one did you open, Strange? Just out of curiosity.
Shield
the shield
door.
still? Okay.
Yeah.
So the shield door has opened. All of you are able to easily go inside. And as Chris goes in very quickly, you notice right away that right about in this location, there is what appears to be a burned out campfire. And all around it, there are several, 6 to be specific, bodies that are little more than skeletons at this point, wearing rotted, pitted gear. But this is a large hall with several columns, some of which have broken off and fallen. You see 2 doors across the way. You see one to your left. And as I said, a campfire and several bodies. Now, as you all have entered, the shield door closes once more on its own.
My word, these poor souls. What could have happened to them here?
Why were they even here?
Oh, they
I
were
suppose they
obviously
were searching for the forge like we are.
Are they dwarven corpses or skeletons, or are they more grander humans and wolfkin?
So, from what you can see, it looks like a party of mixed kin. One of them could be a dwarf, or it could be a particularly tall halfling. You don't see any mallards, but there are potentially a few humans, a few elves. No wolfkin.
See, these did not believe in hospitality.
They opened the door somehow.
It is one thing to say the words and open the door, another to believe it in your heart.
I look for the group.
Do you think this place knows what's really inside your heart?
Max,
The
what were you
door
saying?
closed on its own, remember?
Oh, yeah. I was just curious, should we search their belongings not to disrupt the dead, but they may give us some clues why they were here, or unless they have some information we do not.
I insist, if you're going to search these these poor souls, we must do everything that we can to try to return whatever possessions they had to their next living kin. It is only proper.
So these bodies not even the right word anymore. They are skeletons. These look like they are very old. With the exception of maybe an elf among the group, if you could even figure out who they were, you would have a hard time finding relatives.
Oh, I'm just very principled that way.
No, I get you, and I respect that. I'm just giving you further information.
Is
Is anybody searching the bodies?
I am.
Okay, so I'm going to need everybody to pull an initiative card. So
Okay.
make sure that your toolbar is on the move, the hand at the top.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is click on the initiative deck, lower right hand, just to the right of the map, and pull it and move it over close to your character sheet or into a location where you can keep track of it.
I got a 3.
Okay?
Oh, where'd that go?
I'm gonna put it over where my character is.
Mark got 4.
Yeah, sorry, I
two.
know you gave us good instructions. I'm on the hand.
We'll put it right here on the side.
Gander got 7.
Just left click, hold it down, Jake, and just drag it over towards you.
Click and drag. Pull it out from the deck. So if you go to the right from where the map is, you might need to scroll out a little bit so you can see all the decks.
Oh, I see. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, yes. I see it now.
Oh, Lou, number 1. Look at that.
I tell you.
And I will pull. I got a number 9. Okay. So, Chris gets to act first. In Dragonbane, you get 1 action. You can also move. Movement is such that you'll be able to reach pretty much anywhere in this room, so you don't need to worry about it unless you want to start running into other rooms. And like I said earlier before we started playing, I'm not going to worry too much about the tactical aspects of things unless you really want to get down and dirty with it, then maybe we can. But let me make these guys visible for you. There you go. 6 skeletons rise unsteadily to their feet. But Chris gets to go first.
All right, so I think what Chris is going to do, because this is just the way he is, he's a little bold bugger. He's going to move. Like when he sees Or doing it, it's going to be almost like, no, wait! And as he goes down to go to one of them, and as I'm noticing this happening, I'm going to want to interpose myself between Or and the skeleton that he is searching, and I will use my action to actually do the defend, meaning to evade. So I'm basically going to put myself in front, but instead of attacking as the action, my action will be to kind of evade the attack
Sure.
of the attacker who would attack Or, but instead will attack me.
So it's a little weirder than that. You don't get to hold your actions. Instead, in Dragonbane, what you can do is you can swap your initiative card with anybody so that they take your place as the number one, and then you have whatever their initiative card is.
Okay, no, I understood that if I use my attack action, then I can't use the reaction to defend. All right,
which is why you can swap cards. Now, something that a lot of people might not think about with Dragonbane is you can actually swap cards with the skeletons. That way you let them go first, but if they attack you, you can now use your reaction to defend. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that's a possibility. You can swap with literally anyone.
Okay, all right. In this case, given that that understanding of it, I'm going to instead throw myself at the one that Chris was approaching to search, and I will preemptively attack that one.
Okay. So this one right here. This guy.
Yeah, because he looks like the one. So
Orlin was reaching for.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
There. Okay, and it is, I guess, with a dagger, and I think for this I will try to do. If I have the choice between piercing or slashing, which it looks like it is, I think slashing is probably better than piercing on these things.
Sure.
I'm not sure how that works, but I will, I guess, roll my.
Try to cut at it. Yeah.
And that would be a success.
It's definitely a strike.
14.
Very nice.
And the damage is a D8. So I guess if I roll that, we'll see what happens. Only 2 points, but I drew first, I won't say blood, maybe first nick.
For crack. For skeleton.
First marrow.
So you may notice they do have little health bars above their head. I don't think any of you can see the numbers. I just had them set to health bars. So, but yeah, you struck that one and were able to find purchase. And I would say that based on your strike, you feel like it probably was a good idea to slash at the thing rather than try to poke it.
Yeah, don't poke these things. Much for them. Do something else.
All right. So that was one. I think we have Bastion on 2.
I'm going to swap initiative cards with the skeletons, please.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
All right. So the skeletons continue to stand up and collect themselves. And I'm going to say it takes the full round for them to fully gather themselves and stand up and collect their armaments. Again, as they pull themselves up off of the ground, you can see that 3 of them are picking up what appear to be, including the one in front of Chris, what appear to be ancient kind of bows or possibly like spears. So you guys can see the little target icon next to them, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So that indicates that those are ranged, right? The 2 to your left are grabbing hand weapons. One grabs like an axe and the other grabs like a short sword. And then this one back here seems to be a little bit more better equipped, as it were. Their stuff doesn't look to be quite as badly off. And they have a weapon and a shield, in fact. So yeah, they collect themselves, they stand up, and they turn and look at you, and their empty eye sockets of their skulls, you can see just pinpoints of burning light gazing at you. And that's them on 2. So that brings us to 3, which is Orlin.
Yeah. So I see my little friend slash at him with her knife or such, and I'm like, very not good where I'm at, like with my bow. So I pull out my knife and I slash at the creature ahead of me.
Huh?
Okay. Let's see, roll that. I will miss.
Okay. Would you like to push the roll and take a condition?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. So
But I will say, unfortunately, the knife is only piercing. You need to have a dagger for the option to slash.
Unfortunately, he is correct. So you might be better off taking a step back next time and using your bow if that's the route that you want to take. Because even though the bow is piercing, if I remember correctly, let me look at your sheet. I think you do a significant amount of damage with your bow as compared to the knife. Yeah, the bow is D12.
Okay.
And you've got a ranged bonus die of D6. It's a lot.
Yeah, the thing with piercing
killer
weapons
with your bow.
is piercing weapons. We can use it to do find weak spot, where you can roll and avoid the enemy's armor.
Okay.
The downside to the piercing weapons in this particular encounter is that skeletons only take half damage from piercing weapons. So, all right. So that was a miss, unfortunately, as you slash at them, or as best as you can, and deal with that situation. So that brings us to. That's Master Aiden.
And I would like to ask the question: how high is the ceiling? Does it stretch out beyond the light of the torch, or
That's a good question. So as you enter this particular chamber, the ceiling you feel is probably only about 20 feet high. This is still a grand hall, but it's not quite as high as the previous one.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess, I mean, I don't know if that's classed as a low ceiling or a high ceiling. But I'm going to, seeing as I can see that there's that one right in front.
Thinking about using pillar?
That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking if I have to use two.
How tall is the pillar?
The pillar.
Doesn't say, does it?
The level of the height increases by 3 meters for each additional power level. So I'm assuming it's 3 meters. So 10 feet.
No. Range is 10 feet.
No, it says for each additional power level, the height of the pillar increases by 3 meters. So I'm going to assume then that it's 3 meters.
It's 3 meters. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So if I spend 4 willpower points, I can double that. I can double the 3 meters to 6 meters. Is that low enough to smash this thing into something into the ceiling that's standing on top of the pillar?
Let me do a quick conversion here. You know what? Let me do this. I have been...
It's about 20 feet.
I do have these set up as 2 meter squares, essentially. So if the entryway is 2 meters, and I said it was, or 15 feet, and I said it was 30 feet high, but then this is 6 meters. Twice that would be 12 meters, is 30 feet.
Yeah.
So
I thought you said it was 20 feet.
No, so I was thinking about I'm doing the math in my head. So here it's 20 feet, which would be, I think if you do 6 meters, you should be fine. Yeah, let's just say they're 6 meters tall. That's fine.
Cool. So I'm going to spend 4 willpower points. I'm going to cast, or attempt to cast Pillar. Now, I can see that I'm tempted to go for one of these guys that seem to be grabbing the swords nearby, because I'm assuming, Aydin's assuming, of course, that ranged weapons at that distance probably not going to be that effective, right? So there's a group of these 2 guys here that seem to be grabbing hand weapons. And so I'd like to hit one of those. Now, it's only 1 meter wide, this pillar, so I'm assuming I can't get them both.
No, so it's a single target, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have this one grabbing the hand weapon that is nearest to Chris.
If I can. This guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I may.
Yep.
Now, seeing as I am a novice to this, what am I rolling on here? Oh, it's
You're
elementalism.
rolling your elementalism, yes.
Okay. Oh, that's just great. A 7, I've made it. Succeeded.
Okay.
And
And so created under a low ceiling, they take 2d6 bludgeoning damage instead. So yeah, roll your 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. See what happens. And an 8.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So all of you have been traveling with Aiden for a while.
Yeah.
So it's probably not a surprise.
Yeah.
It may still be weird for some of you, depending upon your views on magic. But a pillar of stone erupts underneath this particular skeleton and shoots it up into the ceiling.
And I think Aeden's probably just shouted something simple like, no! And this pillar's just popped up underneath this guy.
And it has crushed him against the ceiling.
Nice.
Is the pillar persistent?
I don't think it actually says. It does not say. I'm assuming it just goes up and comes straight down again.
The duration is a shit. Oh yeah, there is now a pillar on that space.
Oops.
Nice.
And that you see it just get smushed against the ceiling, and you can see one of its like skeletal hands sticking out from the side of the pillar. Its hand axe falls to the ground, this rusted and pitted hand axe that probably the head of it like snaps off of the haft when it hits the ground from that height. And now we have a pillar.
I always said he was a pillar of our community.
At least it wasn't a pillar of salt. No, that's a good thing.
Face.
Okay,
That goes to the ceiling.
It could be.
No, I mean it's a pillar of the same type of stone that the floor is made out of. It's just grown somehow.
Sure.
Okay, and we can get rid of that particular guy. He has been smoked against the ceiling.
He has been
All right.
smoked by rock.
Smoosh.
That's 4. That brings us to who's next? Mikander 7, and then Bastion 9.
Okay, so I'm just going to stomp forward. Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight forward.
You lock that pillar.
Yeah, they're engaged with that one. So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna take my guardian feel seriously. So I'm literally just gonna go straight forward to the one that Chris and Ola are engaged with.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm literally just gonna go straight up to him and swing uppercut with my battle axe.
Which does slashing? Or no, axes are bludgeoning in this game, aren't they?
No, it says features is slashing and toppling.
Oh, so slashing is fine. Toppling would come into play if you were trying to knock it over, essentially. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's just literally stomp forward, swing up with the axe, and see what I can do. So that would be axes and that one. So 14.
Ooh.
I stomped a bit too hard.
Would you like to push that roll?
When you say you gain a condition, is that them ones underneath at the top of the...
Correct. So you would most likely, unless you wanted to use your ability, which is ill-tempered.
Use that one.
Oh, no. Ill-tempered you would use later. So since you're making a strength-based attack, you would get exhausted. and then future attacks with strength or future rolls with strength would be at a bane until you recover.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I would push it this early on. Just
Okay.
So
yeah, you swing upwards and you manage to, flake off essentially some of the armor that this particular skeleton was wearing, but unfortunately don't seem to really deal any damage to it. That brings us to...
Can I just jump in?
Yes, please.
With the pushing, Tony will be able to choose which condition she gets, but she has.
I thought it was tied to the skill. Okay.
No. So
But you
basically,
have to justify it.
So basically, she could say, "I missed, damn skeleton," and take the
She can get angry,
condition. Yeah.
Which then would not affect her ability to use. Yeah.
Exactly,
So
yes.
you could
Otherwise-
push it then, and get angry, which would make sense from a candor.
yeah. So that's essentially just going into a blind rage, because obviously if I knock that off intelligence, it's like I'm not thinking about it, I'm just going and attacking.
That's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, roll again.
She gets grumpier.
Oh my god.
He gets grumpier.
Oh, no.
Grumpy.
No.
Closer, not enough.
Okay.
So yeah, you are now angry, but unfortunately you still were not able to strike that particular skeleton. So that brings us to Bastion.
Okay.
The pushing that's the willpower points, isn't it? Sorry.
No.
No.
No?
Nope.
Oh.
You just state you want to push, and then pass or fail, you are now angry.
Oh, okay then. I thought it was points and a condition. Okay.
There's a little dot area underneath the attribute you can fill in with the pen, just to note that you've got the angry condition.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, certainly. But like I said, I'm keeping track of stuff like that too. So.
Okay, Bastion. I am going to, from the position I am, using my spear, which has the long ability, I'm going to spear at the skeleton the Makanda missed between my two friends, which I am able to do.
Oh, nice.
And I get a 3. And it's
Solid.
piercing, so it's going to half the damage, but it does on 2, and my strength damage bonus is that. It will do 11 points of damage before you half it.
Right, and half is round up, round down.
I always round up.
Yeah, I'm gonna round up because that's what you're supposed to do in math. All right, so that would be a 6, and that, tell me how you managed to thrust and destroy this particular skeleton.
I growl at the skeleton as I thrust the spear through the rib cage, bringing the spear up, lifting the skeleton in the air, and just slinging it. It explodes as the force of my spear goes through it.
Nice. Just shards of its bones and rusted and destroyed gear fly everywhere. Okay, so that was the last person. So just to make things easy, what I'd like everybody to do is move your initiative card down to the initiative deck, like next to it.
I'm not going to, because I'm going to spend a willpower point and keep veteran and keep my my 9.
You're going to keep your 9? Okay.
Going to keep my 9.
So...
I may have messed up everything. Sorry.
What? How?
Okay, because I don't see where my card is. Sorry.
The one?
Yeah, the one. Okay, there it is. I saw it for a second. Yay! Now I can move it. Sorry.
Is that I moved it? That's on me. That.
Oh, no. Bastion keeps the 9.
There we go. Oh, let's put it in there.
Yeah, get it close, and then I will take care of shuffling. I don't know if that's something you guys can even do, but I can do.
Oh,
Why did that not work? What just happened? Why did it pull one of those down? All
Yeah, I thought I was moving that out of the way. I don't know how that got pulled out.
right, hang on. That needs to go up there.
While we sort this, should we take a quick ad break, actually?
Yeah, we can do that. Right.
You can always judge a book
When-
by its smell.
When we last our avaricious group, at least one of them, had decided to check some skeletal remains and drew the ire of said skeletons. One thing I did forget to do before combat started was to draw some improvised weapons. So those are now available on the side of the table. As you can see in this room, in various locations, and I'm not going to map them out. You can just go use them if you want to. You can say it's close at hand. Are a boulder that is enough for somebody to pick up and throw. Or, sorry, jump up on the boulder and throw yourself at an enemy from the top of it. So maybe it's one of the pillars, perhaps, that you're able to get on top of. There's also some wine bottles here and there that you can pick up and hit an enemy that is next to you with. Does require free hand to do that. And there's also a puddle that you could potentially trip an enemy into using the rules on page 48 in the rule book, which I now have open and ready for tripping people.
I'm going to trip them into that puddle.
Yeah, that's
Terrible.
toppling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an opposed roll. Okay, fair enough.
And are these skeletons kind of suffering from really bad hydrophobia?
No, it's just that you can trip them into the puddle and then they have to make a roll to get back up. Is essentially all that is. So again, these improvised weapons are something that Dragonbane adds to just give some flavor to a scene and let you do some things other than just, I hit it with my sword. Which you all are doing well enough anyway, describing your actions, which I love. But yeah, the improvised weapons are there for you to just have more fun with, should you choose to. There's no bonus experience.
You didn't pull the chandelier out.
I know, right? It's still there. We'll see what happens. So yeah, when we left off, we had just returned our initiative cards with the exception of Strain, who has decided to use his veteran's ability to keep the 9 because he believes, and in some cases rightly so, that going later is actually better than going early in Dragonbane because it gives you an opportunity to decide whether or not you want to defend yourself, which is something you don't just automatically get to do. You actually have to use your action, which means you have to have an action to use. Once you have already taken action, and this will become an issue now that the skeletons are able to act this round, you might just leave yourself open to attack. The good news with the skeletons, though, is they are not technically monsters, and so they actually have to roll to hit you. If you are fighting a monster, its attacks are automatic. And we will see that possibly later on. So for now, I need everybody except for Strain to draw another initiative card. I will go last and pull it to an area where you can keep track of it for yourself, preferably closer to your character sheet, maybe just to the right of it or just underneath it so that I can see it.
Damn it, I thought I pulled one. Okay.
Yeah, it
Now
gets a
you
bit
did.
weird if you both pull, if two people
I
pull
see,
at the
I
same
see.
time, I think.
Okay.
All right, so we will start with McCander with the 2. That is important to note for McCander that McCander is, I believe, able to use their protection ability outside of initiative. If you read his ability, you don't actually, it's a free action for you to defend another character. Yeah. But you have to spend will to do it, is really what that boils down to. And you also, I believe, have to be next to them, which you are right now, next to a couple of different people. So, yeah. So what are you going to do? You still can see that there are two skeletons that have some kind of a ranged weapon. We'll say one has a bow, the other one has some javelins. And there's another one next to a pillar that has appeared and smushed a skeleton against the ceiling. And he has like a sword. And then there's another one further back that seems to be better equipped. Maybe a little bit more scary because of the skull icon on them.
I think just because they're there, I am going to use one of these improvised things.
Okay.
I'm going to do something cool. Maybe, anyway. I'm going to go up to this one. And I'm going to use the boulder. So essentially I'm going to go like trotting up, jump on the boulder or pillar or whatever, and just go down on it.
So you jump up on this pillar and then just launch yourself at him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flapping wildly.
And that is, what's it?
So you need to make an acrobatics.
Okay. Fuck. No.
No. Would you like to push that roll?
All right, let me...
For those in chat, she did just say quack. Not what you thought she said.
Right. You are already angry. Maybe I maybe become disheartened because you're just losing faith in your own abilities.
Well, that's. I mean, my initial response is going to be dazed because I'm jumping off something, but that's the skill that I need to do this.
Right.
And that would just be set myself up for failure, I think.
Or maybe you're scared because these unearthly creatures, and we're scared of heights. Or you can let it lay. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think for now. Oh, wait, no, because that.
Can I ask a quick question based on this? How do you get rid of conditions in this game then, Brian? What's the arrangement?
By resting. So during a stretch rest, which is essentially a short rest, you have an opportunity to clear a condition. During a long rest, you can clear conditions. There are also some, you don't have any yet, but there are some heroic abilities that deal with conditions. But yeah, basically resting is you're able to do that or try.
Do they just so that there is a roll that's required? It's not an instant. You just take a rest and it goes away then.
It may just be that you get to remove one. Okay. Let me look up rests real quick.
Sure. The shorter one you get rid of one. The longer rest you get rid of all of them.
Yeah, and it's just automatic.
Yeah. I don't know if that helps you out, Tony.
Yeah, I really wanted it to be cool. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with disheartened.
Okay.
Who needs
charisma? Who needs heartened, eh?
Yeah. So I'm angry.
Just for reference, a stretch is 15 minutes, a shift is 6 hours.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm now angry and disheartened. So now I'm just going for it, trying to.
That roll again.
Yes.
6. Yes.
Nice. So technically, this is a physical attack, and you're using your body. So even though it's an acrobatics check, I have an urge to give you your strength damage bonus to this because you're hurling your body at them.
So that's a D4. So that would be
2d6 plus 1d4.
Okay.
And it is bludgeoning.
12.
Okay. So tell me how you crush the skeleton.
Body slam.
I think it's literally just that. I'm just, after being angry from not hitting that and then stumbling a bit trying to get this right, it's literally just yeet myself over, not thinking it fully through. I just jump off in theory to like grab this skeleton, but I'm in heavy armor, so it just land
Okay.
on top.
So yeah, all of you see McCander just open spread eagle belly flop off of this broken pillar on top of the skeleton that I imagine is still larger than McCander, and just smush it, and it just kind of scatters underneath you.
Oh wow!
That's why you don't piss off the mallard.
All right. So that was 2. Next we have Chris with 3.
Yeah, Chris wants to know. Yes, so that is kind of perfect for me. So I do see that. I don't know if this pings or not. How do I ping?
Yep.
Well, the one at the diagonal here. I'll move him around.
Yeah, I see him. Yep.
Is within 2 meters of.
No, so 2 meters is essentially you're right next to them. You're adjacent. But you can move
2
there.
meters next to my mallard friend.
Oh, yeah, sure. Diagonal. Absolutely.
And so I am going to take the back way round.
Okay.
To sneak over here. I will mark off 3 because I'm not sure if
that's
it's
not you though.
That's not me. Thank you. Because I'm always bravely putting other people in the way of danger. I am going to. I think I need to mark off the 3 points first, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm going to use 3 of my willpower.
Yeah.
Or the backstabbing trait.
Right.
Okay, so that'll be marked off somehow.
Yeah, I gotcha. You can also use the pen in there, or you can do it on your character sheet. But I gotcha. 3 willpower.
Okay, and I think I get a boon to the roll. So
let's see. 2 meters of another player counts as a sneak attack. Cannot be dodged or parried. That's cool. You get a boon.
Okay.
Yep.
And I will roll that with a. But I roll a double 15, which I actually miss. That makes me mad.
So yeah, if you push a roll with a boon, you still have the boon on the pushed roll.
So I'm going to push it, but and I will take. I think scared, because I'm afraid, and then this is what's pushing me to move forward. So I will try that again. And yes,
better.
Out of sheer fear, I get it done, and which will offer me 2d8 damage as well instead of just 1d8. So,
and you don't have a melee bonus, no. So
no, I don't have any melee bonuses, but I'm still going to choose the slashing.
Yeah, and you're able to do slashing. So yeah, that is definitely enough. So why don't you tell me how you take out this additional?
Yeah, well, this guy is like, I already could see he's like trying to figure out. He's not going to go after the duck, so he's ignoring the duck as a threat, and he's pulling his bow to get one of my other friends who's further away from them, and he just doesn't realize that I'm sneaking around and cracking him. He's more trying to. While he aims at one of my other friends, make sure that the duck doesn't catch him. He's trying to duck the duck, and therefore he doesn't notice my backstab.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, your sneaky little slash basically severs it in half and at the lower spine, and so the 2 halves of the skeleton fall to the ground, and again, just kind of pieces of it fall apart. And
anybody
who's
looking my way notices that I'm shaking, like trembling, like literally trembling, but hiding behind the columns. Hopefully, nobody sees it.
All right. So that was 3. 4 is Orlin.
Seeing how everybody's doing well, he stands there, focuses his mind, spins the knife into his mouth, pulls out his bow, and using hit my my special ability twin shot. 3 willpower to take additional shot, and I'm gonna shoot at the really will equipped creature because I can't see the one being next to the pillar.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm gonna shoot that one. So with that one, it says But when you shoot 2 arrows instead of 1,
Yep.
just roll 1 dice with a bane. What is a bane?
So a bane means you're going to roll to hit twice, and you're going to take the higher roll. But if you hit, you deal damage with both arrows. So you're basically hitting twice.
So I just roll 2d20s or just 1d20?
So you roll 2d20s, and you're going to take the worst one. Or so the highest roll, essentially.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I got what game I was playing.
So 18 is a miss. You
I'm
can
actually-
push the roll.
That's what I'm planning to do.
Okay.
And I am going to mark disheartened.
Okay.
Because it feels like, I'm not doing as well as I should be.
Sure.
All right, I will mark that there. Let's see. There you go.
All right. So roll both 20s again. Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Wow.
I'll still take the
Nice
9.
one.
So now you're going to roll damage for your bow,
Mhm.
which is what, D12 plus D6, but you're going to roll it twice. So
Ooh.
D12 plus D6 plus D12 plus D6.
Whoa.
Not too shabby. 25.
Should be good enough even with that is piercing. Go on, knock him out.
See, 25 divided by 2.
Well, 12 and a half.
13.
Yeah, 13 rounded up. So that'd be
It's piercing good. That's what it is.
Just pissed it off. That's what it did.
so yeah, you fire these arrows, and while they do manage to like tear at some of its armor, and you feel like maybe they ricochet around a little bit inside its rib cage, that particular skeleton is still standing,
Ow.
and you have drawn its attention.
Oh, this is not good.
Okay, and that brings us to the skeletons. So, skeletons are mindless. I've seen a lot of damage going on around here. I think I'm just going to go with closest. So, all right. Oh, actually, you know what I should do? I should roll for them. Because the solo pamphlet in this game has, similar to the monster attacks, has random tables for you to roll to see what enemies do. Oh, okay. Interesting. And
You roll that
again.
anyway, mate, even in group play. It's not just solo play. Roll
No,
once the table.
it's in the solo book. You don't have to normally roll it. Normally, you just go with what you want, is my understanding. But I still love it.
You can choose, I think.
Oh, I gotcha.
It's fun to roll. You can roll it. It's more fun because
It's a lot
more
more
of
fun.
a case of you don't know what's going to do.
So actually, what happens is this guy, you guys can see him highlighted, the one by the pillar.
Yeah.
He seems to like kind of steady himself and get into almost like a ready position. He's adopting a defensive stance. And then this one is going to let out just this strange, like voiceless but still audible roar. And I think we're just going to say everybody, so we're going to go one at a time, to make a will roll to resist fear. So we'll start with Jake. Your goal is to roll a d20 and get beneath your will. Unfortunately, I think your will is not currently marked, so...
Oh, my will is 15, so that's
You're good.
I did
Okay.
take scared, though, so is scared,
Is scared under will?
I believe.
It is.
It is,
Yeah,
Oh, it is. So yeah, you need to roll again. You'll be
Yeah.
disadvantaged for that.
Oh, so
That's a fail.
I failed.
Okay. So we'll come back to your fear effect. Mark, go ahead and make a will check for me.
Actions have consequences.
They do.
Oh, just succeeded. A will of 18.
Okay, your will's high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Max, go ahead and roll against your will for me.
Okay. Let's see what it is. Okay. Yes.
Nice.
That's a success.
Nice.
Tony, roll against your will for me. Is that a pass from a candor?
Yes, that's 14. Yeah.
Okay. Drain, you know the deal.
Success.
That's a pass. Okay, so Jake, why don't you roll me a d8?
Because I'm afraid to.
Oh. Your fear turns to anger, and you are forced to attack its source on your next turn. In melee combat, if possible. You also become angry.
Okay. So I traded scared for angry. That's good.
No, you're still scared too. Now you're just also angry.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's a great combination.
Gangry.
Okay. Scangry. Angrid. All right, so that was them. They're on 5. That brings us to next is Aoden.
Oh my god. Right.
Probably.
So I think I'm going to step forward, and I look this thing square in the eye. That's just it uttered this little shriek, and I say, "No, not today!" And I'm going to fire a fireball at him.
Okay.
Oh,
Take that.
Not resistant against fire.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even think of that.
Was it the bottom one that shrieked?
No, it was the big guy, wasn't it?
Was it the big guy?
That's a success.
It's the big guy that shrieked.
Nice.
And I'm just casting it on at standard level, so I guess it's
2d6.
two.
Should be. Yep.
Let's see what happens. It's a 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did that not update?
It updated for us.
All right. So yeah, your blast of fire hits it squarely in the chest and kind of expands and engulfs its upper body for a moment. But
Does it
when
have
the
any
flares,
flammable?
he does have some armor on. Yeah. It's kind of raggedy looking, but it's definitely heavier than what the other ones were wearing.
Okay. It says fire to flammable objects. Does it have anything flammable on it?
I mean, probably like its hair, what's left of the wisps of its hair,
Yeah.
and so like there are bits of it that are on fire, but nothing significant
yeah.
enough to,
No, fair enough.
So now we have a flaming skeleton.
a little bit,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's looking pretty metal in a minute. Let's put it that way.
right.
Go.
You're whittling him down. Okay, so that brings us to Bastion.
Okay, Bastion, I am moving to there because my spear has a long range, and I am going to strike at the this one that has been hit and damaged and burnt, and I'm going to strike it down with all of my might.
Everybody else, while he's doing it, you might want to move your initiative cards back over by the initiative deck so I can shuffle.
That's a 5.
5 definitely hits.
So that is 2d8 plus a d6. 8, 12 points of damage, but it's piercing, so it'll be halved.
It is halved. However, that was enough. Why don't you describe how you take him downstream?
Again, my spear goes through his rib cage. I lift him in the air. He's burning from the fireball, shining extra light upon the room, and I just smash him against the pillar.
Are you going to maintain your Initiative again?
I'm going to return the initiative card.
Okay. And I will shuffle. Okay, pull your initiative. For what's most likely the last round, one at a time. Don't fight over it. Okay. Max got his. Ooh, 10. Strain. He likes the later ones. Maybe not in this round.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I pulled mine or not. I think I never.
It looks like you got a 3 there, Jake. Yeah.
Again? All right. Was that legit or is that just mine from last time? Okay.
Nope.
That's legit.
Okay, so number 1 is McCander.
Number 1. So it's just this one behind the pillar.
Yep. A pillar that's going to be there for 6 hours.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go up to it and use my battle axe on it.
Okay.
Where's my battle axe? There. 14. Oh, nice.
That'll hit.
Very nice.
So it's 2d8. Yeah, 2d8. 4 slashing.
4. Okay. So unfortunately, as you strike, it's not enough to take it down. But you do get a solid hit in.
Can I
That
just jump in?
brings us-
She's got a D4 damage bonus for strength.
Oh yeah,
weapons.
roll your D4 damage bonus. Sorry. With melee attacks, you're always rolling that melee damage bonus. Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, tell me how you take it down.
Yes.
Okay, so I think for this, what it's gonna be is I'm literally just coming across with all my might. I get this battle axe, swing it round, and take the skeleton like in circle into his the summoned pillar, and just like literally just drive him through into it.
Yeah, and that just manages to shatter him completely. And so the bodies have fallen once more into their eternal rest. And you're left with scattered bits and pieces of these ancient bodies, a dead campfire, a room with now 5 pillars, one of which is actually going all the way to the ceiling. And that's it. This room looks like just kind of an entry hall, audience hall, perhaps.
Well done, my friends. Marvelous fight. All performed exceptionally good.
Master, I think those locks on the door were meant to keep people out, and maybe to keep these guys in. Maybe
No,
we shouldn't
these
have
are
been here after all.
tomb robbers, thieves. As I bend down to the big skeleton I smashed and killed, just going through the remains of that body for any loot or treasure.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me a treasure roll. Or a treasure draw. And roll a
A melee
d6.
weapon.
Yeah, roll a d6 for me.
It's a
So you have
longsword.
found a longsword.
I shall. Looks better than normal. I kind of attach it to my, put it within my belt or something as my third weapon.
Okay. Anybody else want to search around?
I plan to search too to see if we're trying to find information about if these guys left anything about them.
Sure. Go ahead and pull a treasure card for me.
Okay.
Find some boots.
I have like
Oh,
childlike
well, maybe.
writing.
So roll a d6. So that's a 1. You found some boots that are still in pretty decent condition. They don't look magical or anything like that. They don't look fantastic. They're just boots. But you found some.
I just tossed them. I was like, I don't need a pair of boots.
Oh, okay. Well, if anybody else wants some boots, Just tosses them to the side.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Grab the boots, but I'm gonna search for treasure as well, I think.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Why don't you roll 2d6?
It would be the halfling again if he comes up.
I mean, I look for the important
Whoa.
stuff, you know.
Nice.
So, while they're focusing on these bodies, you actually manage to spot like some kind of a alcove or niche in one of the pillars that draws your eye, and you walk over to it and kind of fiddle with it a little bit, and it opens to reveal a small coffer that has 90 gold coins in it.
Wow. Well, guys, look at that. Look at all this gold that I found, and it wasn't found on anybody, so it doesn't belong to anybody. Just stored here.
I kind of put my hand on the shoulder. Lunch is on you and return to the tavern, my friend.
Oh, lunch and more.
We shall have boar.
I'm
Anybody
more
else?
concerned about what has animated these corpses. Seems like some
So-
necromancy at work.
Why don't you go ahead and make a myth and legend roll for me, since you're
I will
thinking
do
about it.
that. Ooh, I need a 14 or less. 10.
Nice.
There you go.
So, it's possible there might be something necromantic going on in this place, but you don't necessarily get that sense. The dwarves are not normally ones to meddle with such magics.
Hmm.
If what Bastion said is true, and likely so, that these were tomb robbers, it could just be that their evil nature
Ah.
and their death in this place has caused them to animate. It does happen.
Okay.
Hey, Odin,
I'm not concerned at all.
It does concern me, however. Haven't you noticed that you can't spell necromantic without the word romantic? Is this just lost upon everybody?
Wow.
I hadn't really given it much thought.
Bonus
Romance
experience
and
for
necromancy just
I
don't seem to go
suspect you were
together.
attempting to make a point of some kind, Master Chris, but I'm just not sure what it is.
I've been known to delve in philosophy a bit, and I'm wondering if these ponderings may have.
Let me
Absolutely.
give you some advice. As an elderly gentleman that has traveled this world, don't.
Ah, I see.
So, are Aodin and Mikander doing any searching, or is Aodin just focused on the thinking?
He was focused on the thinking and perhaps
Sure.
listening at this door that he's standing in front of.
Okay.
Is there a
Tony?
listen roll?
It would be awareness if I wanted you to check for anything. As it
Yeah.
is, you hear nothing.
Okay.
I was just looking around for anything else that might be hidden that could jump out of us in this room at the moment.
So, looking for threats, no, you don't see anything else. All three of these doors are closed. I don't know if Aodin, is he going to try the door?
Yes.
Mark? Okay. So the door opens.
And I shall stick the torch in first.
So
we
with
can
your
have a-
torchlight, this was clearly a bedroom at one time. It's quiet and still now. The furniture is petrifying and the fabrics are moldering. There is a still somewhat whole chest in the corner that would have been used by the occupant to store personal items.
Okay, like a footlocker.
Yeah.
But that's kind of falling apart now, so I can see if there's any.
Yeah, I mean,
contents, right?
It looks like you would probably be able to open it, but if you do open it, you might just kind of like pull the top off. Yeah.
Yeah. Not so concerned about that. I will pull the top off.
Okay. Well, go ahead and pull a treasure card for me.
Oh. Pulled out a melee weapon.
So yeah, the only thing of use that remains that is not falling apart in that particular chest. Go ahead and roll a d6.
Is a parrying dagger.
Nice dagger. So this particular dagger does have the mark on it that you saw above the cavern entrance of the anvil with the hammer crossed over it. And you can tell that probably why this particular dagger is still in good condition is that it's made out of orichalcum, which is a very specific alloy of several different metals and minerals. It has kind of a greenish viridian sheen to it. Otherwise, it looks very similar to steel, but it's just kind of
just this color.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing else in this room at all of interest. Other than that, everything else is.
No, everything else is kind of falling apart, rotting. You touch it and it disintegrates.
Okay. So I'll step out of the room then, and I'll hold this dagger up and just say, would any of you fine fellows make use of this? Or could any of you fine fellows make use of this?
I mean, I possibly could.
Yeah, it's a dagger. It would have the same stats as the daggers that Chris has, as opposed to the knife that you're carrying.
Okay.
Knife throwing than fighting it hand to hand.
Yeah.
I shall hand it to Orlin.
Okay.
Maybe a suggestion with the recent battle. Maybe we'll take a breather, a moment to ourselves.
You could take a breather, if you so choose. Everybody down with that? We can cover that very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So, with a rest, assuming you're just doing a short, like a stretch rest, so roughly 15 minutes or so, everyone can. You either get to heal D6 health, which none of you took damage, so you don't have to worry about that, or 2d6 will. No, I'm sorry. 2d6 will if someone is tending you. Where's the will gain? Okay, so it's d6 willpower points and heal a condition of your choice. So everybody gets to heal d6 willpower if you've used it and remove a condition.
I think I'll remove scared and keep no, I'm going to remove angry and keep scared.
Okay. Keep in mind, angry's not a bad one. Oh, look at that. Jake got probably all of his willpower back. I think Strain got you got all yours too, right? You only spent the one. Yeah.
I got one back.
Orlin got one back of the 3 that he used.
Okay.
I'm gonna get rid of angry for now.
Okay.
Keep disheartened.
And then if you want to roll for Aiden.
Yep. Got 4.
4.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind in the future too that you do have that once per round or once per stretch round rest that you can use during combat to regain will as well. Probably important for Orlin. Or I'm sorry, for Aiden.
Yeah.
Especially if you're pushing yourself pretty low. Yeah. So yeah, you all decide to just kind of take a seat and get a breather for a few minutes. Nobody was really wounded, but you all do what you do to just kind of get your head around the quick burst of violence that you just dealt with. I don't know how individually you feel about crushing skeletons of things that were once people, but you all, I'm sure, handle it in your own way. Maybe it's nothing of consequence. Maybe it was disturbing. And you still have 2 more doors that haven't been opened, aside from the one that Aiden opened that was just an old, rotting bedroom.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'll just go and go towards the other doors.
So this door, if anybody approaches to open it, Orlin has, that door is locked. This door, however, is open if you try it. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh, no, if there's an open door, we can go through that one first.
Well, yeah, man, I mean, I suspect that you might be quite interested to try a door that is locked. Surely there's something hiding or been hidden away in there.
It's a distinct possibility. I will pull out. Is there
Oh, Chris does have lockpicks. Interesting. I was about to ask.
Yeah.
it's odd that a short, small adventurer might have that, but I must have found them here or there amongst my travels at some point.
Sure.
Don't think it's related at all to.
It's actually a hair grip, isn't it?
Oh, you know what? I don't even know what these are used for. And I guess it would be a
sleight of hand.
These
Straight.
in their lockpicks.
I'm not. Admittedly, I'm not very good at this. I don't think this is going to even work. But I think obviously the door wasn't locked. Even I think somebody just misinterpreted the turning of the handle. It goes the other way, you see, and the door opens.
Yeah, and very easily so. You probably don't even detect the hitch of the lock as you deftly unlock the door as you banter with your companions. Would you like to open the door?
Yes, I will open the door.
Okay.
Even be so brave as to step in before you read any description of any sort.
So, assuming that somebody with a light was nearby to assist you with unlocking the door.
Wow.
Odin, look at that.
And light coming in from behind, you can see that this was once a forge. On the back wall, directly across from you, is a large, cold, empty, dead forge. And seated in front of it is a heavily scarred anvil, covered in cobwebs. One rack on one wall has all of the attendant tools and accoutrement also covered in cobwebs. There is on the left-hand side, a trough that anybody with any kind of crafting experience would know is some kind of a tempering trough that you would place a heated blade or any kind of heated metal into to temper it. But it's dry. However, you do see a glint of something from within the trough.
Perhaps a work in progress was left in there, and I'll come in here. Bring that torch. No, I'm not afraid to be here on my own.
Have you found something?
Hold the torch so high it spreads the light better than my torch demeanor.
Yeah, worry not. I'm right behind you.
Do we need to take a short ad break?
Yeah, if this is good times, then.
Yeah, I think we should do that. So, if you decide,
do anything but open the door.
If you decide to take a look at what's in the trough, then as you walk over to it, as I said, the trough is bone dry. This would have once been filled with water or oil or some combination of the two, and you can see kind of a stain around the rim. It's a stone trough. So probably some content of it was oil. And yeah, lying at the bottom of this trough, actually kind of half in, half out, like resting along one edge, is what appears to be a blade. It is probably, you would guess, a longsword, but
Okay.
it's not hilted, right? So it just has a bare tang that would need to be finished. One thing you can tell, though, looking at this blade, is that it seems to be straight and true, despite being resting here at an angle for who knows how long in this empty trough. The blade itself, at first glance, appears to be steel, or at the very least iron, but it's shot through with kind of veins of bluish purple color.
Welcome back to
Extremely exquisitely
Today,
made.
let's talk about Vox.
Well, that
And-
doesn't alarm me at all. I'll pick it up. Bring it out.
Okay.
What have you found?
Oh, it looks like an unfinished blade, but I mean, really, to have left such a treasure here indicates to me there must have been some haste in which the inhabitants left this place, because why would you leave this intricate blade? And I've never seen kind of veins like this on iron before. It's puzzling. There's something interesting here, and
Anyone want to make a craft? Anyone skilled in crafting and want to make a crafting check to try and get a sense of this blade?
Well, it's not really my field.
define skill.
I'll give it a go as a warrior. Let me look at the blade. I mean, I'm not going to make the roll, but never know.
Oh, crafting 7. You could. No, you don't. Does anybody have
Sod
crafting?
it. Sod it. I'm going to push it. I'm going to go disheartened.
The
Wow.
exact same result.
Nobody in the starting group is really a crafter.
No.
No, from what it looks like, it's very, very finely made. Even more so than the dagger that Eoden found in the bedroom. You would guess that if this weapon were completed by a skilled craftsman, I'll point out, that it would be better than a standard weapon of its type. What's also interesting is this blade, it is long, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a longsword. Bastian could easily see this blade placed on the tip of a haft and maybe becoming a glaive of some kind, or you could put a longer hilt on it and possibly turn it into a two-handed weapon. And from what Chris saw, there's probably tools to complete the weapon in that room you were in, but looking at your sheets, I don't know that anybody has the crafting skill to try and complete it.
I'll turn to our halfling friend. I wonder if that is the blade that the poor fellows in the pit were after when they got cursed.
Cursed? Do you think that there's something cursed going on with this blade?
Well, no, it is, they died here. They died here because they were trying to loot a valuable dwarven treasure. Perhaps that was what they were after. And they stole it, they died in here, and the magic within those blades, the veins there, it reported it back to the forge, waiting to be finished by the rightful dwarf to come along and do it.
And I was the first one to touch that thing?
Oh dear.
I mean, yeah.
Oh dear.
I'm sure you'll be fine. You weren't intending on stealing it, were you?
Oh, great dwarven gods of this great forge. I have no intention of taking something that does not belong to me, and it should find its rightful place and rightful owner. Do I have to say anything else?
I mean,
That should do it.
So, I mean, just saying you're taking it back to somebody who's dwarven blood.
In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Who?
Who?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
Halfling.
Yeah, Orlin makes a fair point. I mean, you were tasked by a dwarf to come here to learn more about what happened. So maybe that'll be enough if you think there's some kind of a curse.
Perhaps
if I
it is
didn't have
belonging
the scare
to our.
condition, I might be more brave.
Perhaps it does belong to our dwarfen friend that sent us here.
Could be.
And with that, I think, I'll present it to the rest of the party, and maybe we should, see if there's anything else. Was there anything else in the forge that might be of noteworthy? Any notes left?
No, so anything like that would have fallen to dust long ago. There are a few ingots in there. A few of them even appear to be of the same metal that the blade is made out of.
Okay.
And they're just kind of roughshod ingots that look like they weren't designed to be, most of the time when people think about ingots, they think of like gold bars. Like, no, these are things that are hammered into ingots to be used very shortly. They don't look great, but they're ready to be hammered into something.
Okay.
Probably some steel in there. It looks like there's a couple of orichalcum ingots in there. But those are probably not things that you want to take with you because they can be heavy and they can weigh you down quite a bit. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but we were right here to find it. But are we here to find some clues that the forge is here? Or?
Well, you were tasked to find the forge,
Okay.
which you have now done. Apparently, everything indicates to you that this was in fact Dolgrim's forge.
So we
And
should
this might-
return the blade then.
Yes, but
I mean,
this
it's
still
proof.
might make a comfortable place for us to, you have. The doors seem to be well protected. We know how to get in and nobody else does. I mean, sometimes cities just aren't very welcoming places and to have a place to come and...
Chris is like, I live here now.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think might not be
I'm not sure that nobody else will know how to get in here.
Right.
It didn't strike me as particularly difficult, as long as one knows Dwarvish.
Yeah, right. And Dwarvish customs.
All right, and we were hired by a dwarf, so he probably could answer more.
Yep. The question remains, though, is it safe? Is your task complete, do you think? Do you leave or do you keep exploring?
I keep exploring because I am a completionist by nature.
Okay, well, that door is open. Or rather, it is unlocked, I should say.
As was the previous one that I opened.
Correct.
Proper manner. And so I will open this door and, call forth for the torchbearer to assist me.
It's now just a torchbearer.
It helps that you're so tall.
You should be
with the crystal
careful.
lights. Yes.
About opening random doors, young friend.
But at least he found what we're after.
I think we'll open this door carefully then. And I opened it the same way I would normally open any door.
Sure. And yeah, with the light streaming behind you, you see again like a short hall opening up into a space that looks to have been a kitchen of some sort, despite apparently being unused for centuries or more. This tidy kitchen looks ready for someone to prepare a meal in its modest oven and sit down at its small table for a hearty repast.
Now, Bastin, the dwarves knew how to also take care of themselves when it came to their stomachs as well, apparently. It seems like
yes.
this place was crafted with the same care and workmanship as was the forge itself.
The dwarfs have to eat, Don't they?
Anything remaining here that might be useful for cooking a meal with what we have?
No, there's no supplies that are going to be any good. If you open some of the cupboards, check the barrels, everything looks to be not great.
I'm talking about implements, frying pans, and
Oh yeah,
pots of it. Yeah, so
yeah.
I
I
can
they're
still hear the thunder outside, and I'm not in any hurry to get into the weather.
some of the tools are kind of rusted and pitted, but like they're dwarven make. They're sturdy enough. You could probably use them to cook a meal
Yeah.
if you wanted to light a fire in the oven.
And there seems to be another door in here, so obviously this must have been the pantry for the place, because I don't see many supplies here.
Opens door, fall downstairs. Yeah.
Okay, let's go and take a look, shall we?
So that particular door is also open, and it opens on a flight of stairs that heads downward.
Right. Looks like. Mind your step. The stairs are very steep. Mind your steps.
I'd be very careful without any light down there.
Yes, I'm holding here because I think I'm just at the edge of the spill of your torch.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
I yell back to the mallard and say, "Are you coming, my friend?"
Yes, just checking the way. Like, just keep an eye on behind.
Yeah, that's all right. Keep on walling through.
So perhaps unsurprisingly, Chris was not wrong. At the bottom of the long flight of stairs is a forgotten storeroom with surprisingly still sealed barrels and crates of provisions.
Dwarven ale!
You're gonna get drunk tonight.
You go ahead, Master Mallard. I'll be right behind you.
So, yeah, if you check it out, there definitely are provisions here, enough for you to recover or restock several things. You could, if, for example, you wanted to, you could restore some of your arrows, although it's not something that's necessarily fully tracked in Dragonbane. Food, there's enough food here for several weeks for one person or several days for a group of people. There are a few tons of water, as well as a few tons of ale, that are all sealed, and if you check them, still remarkably good somehow.
Oh, preserved boar meat. Ha boar ribs.
Master Aedan can sense the magic in this room.
Ooh.
Oh, I just assumed it's down lower, so it must be, colder here, and so it must preserve things better.
Be cautious, my friends. There is something afoot here.
I mean, seeing that all the supplies are still good, you assume that the dwarf probably paid some kind of conjurer, enchanter to enchant the room to maintain stores. The rest of this place looks as if it's been unused for centuries, but a lot of these crates look as if they've been sealed yesterday. You like to see if you can find the source of the magic?
Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Yeah.
I believe it's likely some sort of refrigeration magic.
Using the power of CFCs.
I will let you use... you've got a decent one. I'll roll spot hidden for me to see if you can trace the magic.
Okay, that's a 14, isn't it? I gotta get a 9.
Okay. So yeah, by just kind of walking around in the room and trusting your instincts and sensing where the magic is, you do eventually kind of triangulate and discover that there appears to be a source of magic in the center of the room underneath the flagstones.
So, I mean, with regard to this then, is it likely that somebody has cast a spell on something that's beneath the flagstone that would be worth digging
There
up,
would
or
be-
is it a case of...
Your guess is there would be some kind of focal item of magic that is seated underneath the flags of the room that is
in the center there?
essentially creating like a temporal stasis on items in this room.
I think as you're doing that, I'm going to Makander, come with me over here. Let's take a look at this door. It looks kind of stout. Maybe you could put your strength into it and open it for me. And clearly, I am trying to divert Macander's attention from this jar that says à l'orange on it.
I do not feel
Yeah.
like a ballad.
Yeah. Don't ask
So-
McKenna to do anything for you because he'll send you the bill.
Right.
I'm with.
Wow.
So what are we doing?
There's a lot of duckism going on here.
Yeah, there is a lot of duckism.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of just happy that this place exists. I don't really, doesn't mind me, how it's happening or why it's happening. It's underground. It's cold storage. It's really great.
Sure.
Excellent dwarven craftsmanship. The doors are kind of sealed nicely. So I'll check the next door and see what.
I was kind of hoping that you were going to get McCandra to check the next door so we could have made the Peking duck reference as well. But denied.
How dare you?
Yes.
Armor.
So if you just try it, that door is also locked.
Mm.
Or is it just stuck? There's a difference, you see.
Yeah,
I think it was just stuck.
Wow. Yeah, apparently it was just stuck. However, while you're working on unsticking the door, I'm going to need you to make a spot hidden roll for me.
Ooh.
Oh,
Well, okay, and just not to keep everybody suspense, that would be a 12 or under that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Using
So
the power
we can
of
all groan or
WD-40.
enjoy together as we see what's happening.
Oh.
Dang.
Would you like to push the roll?
No, I don't know that there's anything.
Wonderful.
I would really have no reason to that I know of. It's
So
spot hidden.
as you are unsticking the door with your tools, you unfortunately fail to see an additional mechanism that is tied into the functioning of the lock, and a small needle kind of quicks out and sticks you in your finger as you're trying to unstick the door.
Oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't do that.
So you do manage to get the door open,
but
but
But you get to learn
what I'm
new
looking for in the book, people,
Yeah.
that I
Get to
should have written on my
the
sheet
tetanus
is
table now.
poison.
oh,
Trying to find poison. You know what? Let me use the PDF and I'll just do a search.
I will
for poison.
call attention to the fact that since this is a storehouse, maybe they were referring to poisson.
Page 52,
which
Brian,
is
other
fish.
hazards.
Thank
not
you, sir.
Yeah, there's a poisson on the end of that
Yes.
needle.
Poisson.
What?
There's a fish.
Okay.
I knew there
So-
was something fishy about that lot.
Unfortunately,
Yes,
this is a lethal poison.
Oh, good.
Ooh.
That's
the
right.
best kind. Yeah.
So
Why would you put another one in there? Really? Well, I'm
Oh,
happy to watch
interesting.
everybody else.
So we
play
go-
while I turn blue and yellow and green.
no, we actually have to make an opposed roll.
Okay.
No.
Your con versus my potency.
Well, thank God I didn't take sickly as my.
Yeah.
So my con. Okay, good.
So just roll a d20 and try to get under your constitution.
I will try. I failed by 1.
Okay. Would you like to push that roll?
Yeah, you know what? Seeing that I'm kind of sick, and I'm going to try to retch.
Yeah. I'd take the condition poisoned.
I would take the yes, and I mean if it fails, the pushing. Oh no, I'll take the sickly condition anyways, which will still be poisoned. So we'll try it. We'll see what happens. I just
Look
missed
at that.
this time.
You passed?
Oh, well, I did. I hit
No,
the mark.
no, he's still alive.
Damn it.
like, oh no, he's still alive. What shall I ever do?
So I also passed, but tie goes to the winner on poison, I've decided, although the rules are not very specific on that. But so you are going to take D6 damage.
Ouch. Okay.
If you had failed a lethal poison, you take D6 damage per round on your turn until you reach 0 hit points.
Wow.
If you consume an antidote in time, the effect is halted. I don't suppose anybody has an antidote.
Forgot to bring that.
Pull a treasure card antidote. All right, I will roll my 1d6.
I believe there is an antidote in the treasure deck, yeah. Your chances of getting it is very low, so you take 2 points of damage.
Okay, 2. Got it.
And, that you'll be able to recover that the next time you rest, potentially.
But
if
I'm
you don't
also
have to recover will.
Sickly now because I...
Correct. No,
Well, I have
correct.
that now too. I found the proper sheet to do this on. Thanks, guys.
Nice.
It helped during the...
Okay. So, once sprung, though, that needle is very apparent to you. It doesn't look like it resets or anything. It was a set trap, and it went off, and now you're good.
Oh, I'm
so-
going to remove it from there because that's really dangerous. I wouldn't want anybody getting stuck with it as they put their...
Okay, yeah, I mean, you can use your dagger to snap off the end of it, toss it to the side or something like that.
Very poor workmanship on this door. One of the parts was loose, and it's a stabbing hazard, really. But don't worry, I was able to correct that for us.
So now we know there are traps.
And what they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes. All right, so yeah, you managed to open the door. Opening the door, what you can see from Aodin's torchlight, because he's still in this room, is the hall continues, and it's a worked hall for a good distance, probably about 8 meters or so, before it then begins to look like it's more of a natural tunnel or cave. You're also catching, some of the torchlight is catching what looks to be strands at the edge of the torchlight that are kind of reflecting the light a little bit.
And I just stepped in there, so I guess we'll be pulling initiative cards as the spiders come out.
No.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue on to the next area?
Through the cave. I guess it's going underneath, like the red thing.
Yeah, it does. If you're keeping track in your head, you're going underneath the primary entrance.
Oh, this must be where they mine.
We're
all
leaving
the
the
minerals.
torchlight behind.
Yeah, you're all just kind of stumbling ahead in the dark right now, unless somebody else lights a torch.
Yeah, I'm wondering how well I see in the dark, if that's a thing here.
It's not a thing. In Dragonbane, nobody
In
can
that
see in
case-
the dark.
Well, that works well.
I will have a torch. I'll have a lit torch. I do have a torch. I'll light it and keep us going.
Yeah,
While the old
you
man
do
catches up.
at least have one-handed weapons you could use as well.
Yes.
Okay, so with Bastion's torch, as you all kind of move ahead with Chris at the lead, and it looks like followed closely by Bastion, and then Orlin and Mikander kind of lagging behind, and Aodin just still contemplating the magic in the previous room.
He's fallen asleep, actually. He's not contemplating anything.
Oh, wow.
He's kind of sat down, he's dozing off.
Yeah, it happens. It happens when you.
Yeah. I
You
just
do-
thought it was because the rest of you were so boring. Aiden's just given up. Yeah, he's passed away. What?
You do
Looking back at the
eventually.
stairs thinking, I'm going to climb those again. Oh my god, my back.
You eventually find the rough tunnel opening up into a much larger chamber with some stalagmites and stalactites. This whole area, though, is covered in webbing. You can even see some cocoons along the walls attached to some of the stalactites. And this webbing is thick and viscous. Some of it's even dripping like it just came out of a creature.
Ugh.
Wet.
Image.
You know, if that's
I mean, that's
foreshadowing, you're doing a horrible job at it.
That's
Brian.
that's gross. It's just come out of a creature. It's wet. Oh, that's grim.
So are you
I
heading into the
mimic that.
chamber?
Wet my armor.
Can I put my hand on my young halfling shoulders? There seems to be a lot of spider webs here. Do you really want to go on?
In the light of Bastion's torch, you can see that the chamber closes down into another tunnel that seems to head off in this direction.
Well, I mean, we were tasked with finding the object. We could go back with that, but again, what if it was just a ruse? And the real item that we're looking for is somewhere down here.
So let's go back to Aoden for a second. As you're standing in the, I guess for lack of a better term, let's call it the pantry.
Yeah.
You do notice on one of the shelves there is a medallion just kind of sitting in the dust.
Ooh. I shall wander over to the medallion. That's not where the magic's coming from, though? It's still coming from beneath
It's
the
not.
flagstone, isn't it?
No. Although you noticed it because you are getting a faint sense of magic from it.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I take it is it attached to a chain or something then?
It is.
So I'll hold that up in the torchlight and have a look at it and see if there's any inscription or...
Yeah, and not an inscription so much as this is again clearly a symbol, a sigil of Dolgrim.
We got the hammer and...
The hammer and
tongs or whatever it is.
anvil.
The anvil, yeah.
This is actually... The amulet itself is made of that same metal that dagger was, the orichalcum.
Oh, okay.
It's about fist-sized, and the chain that it hangs from is a thick kind of like bronze chain.
Oh.
And it's sized for a neck that is much more stout than yours.
Right. Some kind of... like an identity badge kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah,
or
maybe. You could, if you wanted to try a Myths and Legends rolls, you might get kind of a sense of the magic.
Yeah, I'll do that. Let's have a look. See if I can... Sadly not.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can sense that it's giving off a faint magical aura, but yeah, not really clear on what it is.
Yeah, so I guess I'm calling down the passageway as I can hear these voices disappearing into the distance. My friends, I've found something. I found something. But they probably can't hear me by that point. They've probably moved too far.
It's not that far. I mean, if you yell, Mikander can probably hear you from where he is.
Yeah, 'cause I was hanging back waiting for you to come. I think if a little bit longer, it would have come.
I assume they left the door open. Like, nobody said specifically that they closed it, so...
No.
Door's probably open now.
Perhaps we should go back. We are being called and summoned.
Oh, all right. I'll be very quiet, like, and trying to sneak back just to make sure that I'm not making any noise.
Okay.
What? Hey, I have a
Wait, you guys are so untrusting. Large open chamber full of wet webbing.
Well, I want to see what that webbing is, depending on if it is a spider type creature. Is there any way I can roll bushcraft for that?
It wouldn't be bushcraft. It would instead be beast lore. I'll let you make a beast lore check for sure.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you can try.
Oh,
you did it.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, from your travels and your experience as a hunter, there are definitely spider webs, and something tells you from the thickness of the webs, it's not just like a bunch of little ones, if you take my meaning.
I will, as everybody's coming through, I'm kind of slowing down just in my mental thoughts, saying I'm still within range of the fire, and I come inside and I'll shut the door behind me.
Okay.
I look at everybody and it's like, I suggest not going in there because we will probably not be prepared to face what's in there.
Well,
Oh, I
you
don't
need
know if that's
to
true.
be prepared to face what's in there. I mean, what is it that concerns you? I am quite stout, brave, and hardy. I will protect you. Or
He laughs and looks at his smaller
Shaking hands. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I understand that you might see glint of gold in your future, my friend, but I see such beasts of what make those maybe beyond what we could deal with right now. But we have accomplished what we need right now. If we're paid to more explore, I would do that, but I'd rather be better prepared
well, okay.
for what we might encounter.
What if we're just very quiet and sneaky, and don't bump into those strands of webs like guitar chords or anything like that. Just leave them be. If we find a path through them, we may be able to get to, there was clearly another passageway going into another area. I
You think it is too much a risk? We have gold to earn.
And we have proof of, pointing toward the blade that we recovered. We found a forge, and,
And this medallion will be proof enough of that, I think.
Exactly.
I'll hold that up.
Oh wow! Well then, that's quite spectacular. What does it say on there? Is there?
It doesn't say
on the
anything.
back of that? It says to
There is no inscription.
all my love.
Secret.
Thank you.
Chris very quickly uses the dagger to scrape some runes into the back of it.
A long lost medallion. Somebody to give.
Yeah.
It
It says,
Put it on.
I heart Doran's Forge.
All I got from Doris Forge is this medallion.
Was this lousy medallion?
I'm
Okay.
sorry, you can't afford this magic sword with what you brought me, but
Yeah.
as a consolation.
It's a Kiss Me Quick medallion.
Consolation prize.
So are we leaving then?
I vote to leave, or we
I think
rest up
so.
and leave when the weather permits, because we do have food and we have a place to stay with a fire, and we'll let the weather pass through, at least more reasonable, and head back.
Yes,
Yeah, you know,
definitely.
Well, I
The
mean, you are a
completion is-
mile inside of the mountain, so you're going to have to go out to check the weather. Like, there's no way for you to determine the weather from where you are currently.
We'll just go out to the entrance and then we can always come back in.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in for the sake of speeding things up a little bit, you go to head towards the entrance, and once you get back to the doors, you notice on
Good
this stretch of wall right here in between the two doors, there are two impressions, and the amulet that Aodin has picked up will perfectly fit into one of them. And if you attempt to open either door, neither one opens.
So the shape, does it look like we need two medallions? Is the shape the same for the...
There are two separate impressions, and the shape is exactly the same.
Well, it appears that we're trapped here until we
Not
find another one of
necessarily.
these.
We must go maybe through the spiders and find the other exits. I mean, or maybe there's another medallion here that we missed. What? We have a forge. Can't we create another exact medallion that will fit into the other place? It's like creating a key.
I mean, there's
I mean,
user.
Hang on, let's go with it. There are a couple of orichalcum ingots in the forge. If any of you want to take the time to try to fire up the forge and make the very difficult crafting check with the tools there, to try and craft an exact replica of that medallion, I'll let you try.
I mean,
You never know. You might roll a 1.
Who has the highest crafting?
I think the highest crafting that when I looked was like 6.
I think that's
7.
7.
Me and Makanda have got 7.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it. Because I can help Makanda, or Makanda can help me as we craft it to get a.
While they do
Boom
that, I'll
on a
just
rock.
completely search everywhere to
Okay.
see if I can find
Yeah,
another
you get
one.
the animals doing all the hard work for you.
So the boon is going to cancel out the
Ooh.
bane. Well, the boon is going to cancel out 1 bane. This is more than a single bane roll here.
I love it.
Because neither of you are Dolgrim. But you can get water from one of the tons in the basement to fill up the trough. You can use the metal there. You can find some wood in the basement as well. You might need to tear apart one of the crates to fire up the.
That does
the
seem like it would
forge.
take an awful long time.
Sure, it would take a while.
Should we just go out through the cave then?
Perhaps we should.
You can do this.
Well, Chris, it looks like you're going to get your spider experience.
Would you
I feel very much.
Would you like to
Velma.
enter the cave carefully,
No,
prepared for something that you think is there? Mark's like, nah, no, not at all.
I will be quite quiet in my travels through there,
Oh.
and I will beseech the others.
you saw the cave, Master Halfling. Can we get through it without touching any of those webs?
The answer to that question is no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, do you want the truth, or do you want to feel good about the answer?
Oh, of course, I wanted you to lie to me.
Oh, then it's a piece of cake.
Yeah, I would ask if we can probably take a couple bottles of liquor, the more potent fire one, so we can do like Molotov in there. Just offer Molotov over.
Well, there's no
Offer as an offer.
bottles for
yes.
that, but there are a couple of tons of ale. The question is whether or not Bastion will allow you to use good dwarven ale for that purpose.
I'm not sure that you can burn ale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good point. It's not
It's not.
the same thing
No.
as hard liquor.
It's not.
So yeah,
I mean,
that's not gonna
dwarven
work.
ale maybe.
I mean,
To be fair, dwarven ale might be specially
Might be
made so
stronger.
that it's a high alcohol content, but
It could
still
be.
somehow doesn't burn, right? Because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
dwarves.
Yeah.
Well, I suggest we go as carefully as we can as Bastion picks up this barrel of ale he's taking with him.
He's like, all right, let's go.
You know what?
So
Perhaps
that barrel is
we
going to
have
be
something.
considered a large object for Bastion, so I believe
Yeah.
that's going to take up 2 slots. But yeah, you can take that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think that what would be the most valuable thing to create in this environment? Wouldn't that be some sort of blade with runes and etchings on it that might be dangerous to spiders? That spiders might sense that this is a blade not to be reckoned with, and if we sally forth holding that enchanted blade above us, would that not protect us against said spiders?
Finishing that blade is going to be probably harder than making an exact replica of Dolgrim's icon.
I wasn't suggesting that we create something. I was just suggesting that the magic in the blade, holding it up in the light, might scare them off. Is really what I'm saying.
Well, I'm holding this barrel, Chris, but if you want to carry the blade in front of you and go forth.
Yeah, that
Ahead.
blade is almost as tall as Chris is, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you certainly can hold it aloft. Not being hilted, it's not going to be usable.
Yeah, no, not as a weapon, just as a kind of.
But sure, I
A
mean, you can.
warning.
I'll let you do that. I don't know who's currently holding the blade, but if somebody wants to brandish it, you certainly can. So let's do this for the sake of speed, because we don't want this to last all night. Why doesn't everybody place yourself where you think you want to be in the chamber when something above starts stirring?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Does that work?
Yeah.
We would have been up
Oh.
ahead.
Yeah.
You know which chamber I speak of.
Yes.
My token's fine where it is.
I'm right there. Ran over that way.
So actually, as you get closer to that area, you notice you can't make it that far because it's entirely barricaded off by
God.
just boulders and broken pieces of wood, like weird pieces of wood. Like it's very strange. We'll describe that later. But with everybody where they are now, we will say that as you expected, so you are not surprised, something descends from above.
Oh, isn't it adorable?
I don't like hairy things. I don't like hairy things. I don't like hairy things.
It is very hairy, actually. So everybody go ahead and pull an initiative
Aiden looks
card
very sad and slinks
as
away.
this spider drops from the ceiling in utter silence.
As a bit of a flashback moment,
Sure.
what would have happened if we'd have tried to burn some of these webs
They
first?
were wet. Remember? Wet.
So, yeah.
They were wet.
It makes it harder to burn. Like burning cobwebs is one
Oh,
thing.
damn it.
Burning these super thick, viscous,
So they
wet.
weren't wet with alcohol. That's a shame.
Oil. There might be
Um,
oil at the kitchen if there was some barrels of oil or something.
Aiden needs to pull a card before I do.
Before the
Yeah,
end
no.
of this encounter, I might wet several more of them.
Yeah. I refuse. I'm a pacifist.
Cool.
Oh dear.
Oh,
You're the one that does the
Last.
fire.
Yeah.
Yes, I pulled 2 cards. Okay, so that
Wait,
means
What does that mean?
that means that giant spiders have a ferocity of 2. They get to act twice
Oh, so it
in
doesn't
one
happen
round.
on the same turn.
Correct. It does
Nice
not.
knowing you.
And you can still trade cards with the spider, either one.
But they auto.
I'll trade it with both.
And yes, the spider's attacks auto hit. There's no roll. It hits. You have to deal with it. It is a monster. Okay, so
Great.
that means that Orlin is first with the 2. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna spend 3 will to do a double shot on it.
Okay, it's a strong opening.
I mean, might as well. I mean, we're gonna go. Gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and you've got some range. Spiders are not particularly resistant to piercing either, so
There you go.
2d20, take the lowest. Or take the highest, actually, if you're using your twin shot ability.
Yep.
$16.
And mine's a 14, but I am gonna push.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give myself disheartened.
Okay.
All right. and-
Nobody's charming anybody.
Nope.
Who needs to be charming?
Yeah.
That's
Look at that.
right.
Did it.
Nice.
So roll,
Charisma.
what is it,
Good double
D12
stat.
plus D6
Hey.
twice, so 2d12,
Yep.
2d6.
Yep.
For a total of 13. Spiders do not have armor, so your arrows lodge solidly into the flank of this thing as it touches the ground. And that drops it to... Okay.
Ooh, that's a good point. Hey, that's if I saw the health bar go like that, that's good. I wish the runs were a little higher though.
Yeah.
So that was 2. 3 is Mikander.
Oh, it's right in front of my candor too.
How big is this thing? How big is this thing actually, Brian? What
This
kind of size?
spider is easily 6 meters across.
They
Yeah.
call it giant.
It is
in
big.
size.
It is a giant spider.
It's a huge size.
Would you like to see the spider's sheet to compare it to some goblins that are shown on the sheet?
No, because I think I might have to check the condition. Scared if I do that.
The condition shit yourself.
Yeah.
So it's Think Shelob from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, big.
It's definitely towering over.
Over Makander? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna just go for, because it's like directly in front of me, so I'm just gonna go with the battle axe at like its front legs, trying to just basically hack at them. So that'll be a 14. Don't be a 14. No, do not.
Oh.
Oh.
Take it or push.
The ill-tempered, that's just on normal rolls, isn't it?
So ill-tempered is something you want to spend before you attack, and you're basically making yourself angry to get a boon on a roll.
Okay. That's fine.
You can, I believe you can use ill-tempered while you are already angry, though. So keep that in mind, if I read it correctly.
Okay.
Like,
So if you have the condition angry,
if you're already angry, you can spend willpower to activate it and still roll with a boon.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. But yeah, I'm gonna push it. I will become angry.
Angry.
An angry duck.
You're so angry. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
So good.
Wow, nice.
Angry.
So that's a hit.
So it's 2d8 and 1d4.
I hope you guys don't just smite this before it gets an attack off. You might, though.
Oh, dude, I wish we do.
16.
Wow.
Big.
Wow.
Smote a bitch.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm going to say that you shear off one of its forelimbs as you sweep across with the battle axe. So, let me do some math here. Yeah.
Like it's one of them. Instead of getting scared, as it because the sheer size of it, it just instantly went to angry. As it's just like, get away from me, and just hacked a leg.
Get away from me, you bitch!
Yeah.
Now, if we get our little buddy to do a backstab, might be useful.
So, yeah, 5. That's Chris.
Yeah, and as a Canadian, as a good Canadian, seeing what the duck just did, I'm gonna like kind of exclaim, "Wow, man, puck a duck!" And I am going to.
That's what you're talking about.
Exactly. And I am actually going to expend 3 also for my sneak attack.
Okay.
Backstabbing, rather.
Sure.
Yeah, backstabbing.
Which
so use
monsters are not immune to, I don't think.
willpower for that. So if it is, then I'm learning.
No, they're not.
Gives me the boon, so I will use disadvantage on this roll
Wait, why are you rolling with this? Oh,
because I used 3 for the backstab. Backstabbing, you get a boon to the roll, and the number of dice rolled for the damage increases by 1. So it looks like a success.
an 8 sounds like a success for you, yeah. So
And so
you're going to roll, what is it, 2d8?
Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll roll 1. All good. Player.
It might be enough. I mean,
You
I don't
can't
know.
push damage.
Sorry?
You cannot push damage,
No,
sadly.
I'm not gonna. No, I'm gonna push the damage.
So yeah, you managed to stick it, but maybe your blades are too short to actually reach anything vital from the angle you attacked from. And
I don't want to
thankfully,
get my arm inside that stuff. Ew,
right.
gooey.
Thankfully, the spider actually gets in action.
For now. Oh, no. Here it goes.
So,
Oh, yes.
It is going to focus on Makander. Well, I think. Let me roll a d6 here to see what it actually does. Okay. Oh. The spider fixes its numerous eyes on the player character with the highest strength. Who is that? Makander?
Oh, thank God.
Well, I have an 8 strength, so probably me.
I have 18.
I've got 60.
It's Bastion. The next moment, it spits sticky spiderweb at the victim, who must make an evade roll, not an action.
Oh, an action.
On a-
Okay, cool.
On a failure, the victim is caught in the web and unable to move.
Okay, evade. Oh god.
I mean, if you don't move, can you still attack though?
Depending upon his distance from it.
I'm going to
He's actually
take.
still in range.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
saying, you get spear, dude. You get their spirit.
Yeah, I'm going to take a scared condition. To reroll that because this thing is spitting crap at me.
Not in the face. Not in the face.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
And that was its action. So that brings us. That was 7. So that brings us to Bastion. And
Okay. I'm going to activate my hunting instinct, which
Okay.
allows me to track the creature for 3 points. I'm also going to spend an additional willpower point, which is not an action, to gain a boon for an attack against your prey. So I'm going to spend 4 points. And I am going to roll boon on my attack.
wow,
Ooh.
wow.
I think we'll go with that one. And
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
with my long spear.
Ooh, nice.
7, 8, 10 points of damage.
Oh.
So how do you skewer the spider?
Nice.
No second action.
It seems customary that I do this. I slam my spear into its body and using my magnificent great strength. And smash it against the wall.
All right.
Nice.
And throw it.
And the spider is defeated.
Bastion, you know everything that I said about not liking hairy things. It didn't refer to you at all. You're my best friend. I like hairy things, just not that kind of hairy thing. I just want to be clear and say that I have the ultimate respect for you and
Oh.
any fur that you may have.
Do you know that? That gives you such an appetite. Kind of put the barrel down and grab out some of the rations that I pulled from the dwarves and, tear open a boar rib and
So while Bastion is having a little snack, is anybody else doing anything?
Maybe search around the area if maybe it had people that was leftovers.
Yeah,
There
the
are
cocoons.
several cocoons, some of
I'm-
which look to still contain the withered remains of beings.
I'm wondering
So-
if we'll find an amulet in one of them, really, because
Yeah.
that seems to be a good place. Like, why we didn't find it here? Why
Sure.
we escaped?
So is everybody searching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
a brief
sure.
snack, then we'll search, yes.
Okay, so everybody gets to pull a treasure card one at a time. Don't fight over them.
Where your
Oh yeah, and throw your initiative cards back to the initiative deck so I can shuffle.
Ooh, someone found the loot. Get
Well,
loot.
I'll see what I find.
Roll the d6 for the instrument.
anyways. A liar.
Nice.
You know, it's somewhat appropriate for my character, although I resemble that comment.
Ooh, nice.
I
I don't
pull
know
a
who that
silver
was,
brooch.
but you found a silver brooch.
Cool. All right, I will pull one. I found silver coins.
Nice.
I found a little bit of cash. That's worth it.
Oh, look at that roll!
Oh, Jesus.
Look
Wow.
at that roll!
Nice.
50, what is that? 50, 70 silver for that brooch? It's not bad.
Is awesome. 60 silver.
60
I found
silver.
5. I found 5 Ooh, 5 silver. I'm like, shit.
Nice.
Pocket.
Oh, somebody found a lot of copper.
Yeah.
Well,
Ooh.
we'll see.
What's
Hey, it might be worth a lot of drinks when we get back.
Really? A policeman
Somebody did
in
not
this
find a
place?
lot of copper. 11
you
copper
got-
pieces.
You got copper coins as well.
No, it's 11 times 10, isn't it?
No, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark pulled.
Oh no, it is
Yeah.
11 times 10, so 110 copper pieces.
Is it? I
11D100 copper
this one.
pieces.
Mark.
No, that was me. I just got 4d6. That was mine. I just got 11 copper.
Oh, who's the copper coins in the?
Yeah, that's my.
Tony.
Oh,
I think.
that's Tony.
Yeah.
So Mark got 11 copper. How much
Yeah.
copper did Tony get?
Yeah. Oh, that's better.
170.
170. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Could somebody
Nice.
pull a wheelbarrow out of the treasure card for us? Maybe.
So as you kind of hunt through these cocooned bodies, you find the various bits that you find, but you do not, unfortunately, find another icon of Dolgrim. There is,
bodies
however,
are all
as
dwarven, or there are others.
actually, what's interesting is some of them are dwarven. Most of them are goblins.
Oh, great. I know. Like I look at the barrier.
No, it's very common for people to bring in giant spiders to get rid of their goblin infestation.
Yeah, and there is kind of a barricade here that should be relatively easy for you to take down, being that you have hands and you can fit in the tunnel.
Unlike giant spiders. Okay.
Right.
Right. I'll move up to the edge of the torchlight. Do I notice any strange?
Oh, hang on. Did you guys take the time to take down the barrier? Is that what you're
Yeah.
telling me?
Yeah. Yes.
Looks like it.
Okay.
Roll initiative
So-
again.
No, once you clear the barrier, we'll start with Jake. Why don't you make an awareness check for me?
Oh yeah, I'm okay with awareness. Sir. I am aware.
Okay, so having cleared the barrier, you can now clearly hear what before might have been muffled by, cave sounds and the spider and just the barrier. The kind of chittering, guttural, unmistakable, but also not understandable, just gibberish of goblinoid.
Guys, I hear goblins. Maybe we should pop the barrier back up again.
Actually, I have maybe a weird idea.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
All right,
Wait.
chop the head off of the spider, right? And have it into the spear and just make a noise of it, like the spider's coming after what it's in front of us. They see a giant head of a spider coming at them, and hopefully, can scare them enough they can leave, so we can go where we're going.
If you carry the barrel, then yes, I can do that.
As long as we keep the barrel.
I mean, we can just leave the barrel right there and come back for it. Just sit
Okay.
right there.
We can use the barrel as the rolling thing to roll the spider forward on.
No, I pick it up on the spear.
I don't hate this idea. Okay, so I'm not going to make you roll to get the spider's head. I mean, you
Right.
can take some time to chop it off.
Well, take some
Various
chance
hand
on
weapons that you have.
who makes a good spider impression? We have a performer here.
It's a big head, so you're probably going to need at least two of you up front carrying this thing in front of you like a giant, shield wall kind of thing.
Oh,
Well,
me and the
I'm
mallet
a
can do
liar,
that.
but I don't
Yeah.
see how that's going to help performing as a spider.
So yeah, we'll chop the head off, and me and Makanda together will carry this thing out.
Okay. Is anybody going to try and make spider noises behind them while they're, hustling this spider head forward?
Oh, what about
What kind of noises does a spider make?
I don't know.
Apparently
Maybe,
it wasn't alive
either-
long enough.
or
It really wasn't.
Yeah, this kind of noises a spider make is.
I mean, we could be a chitter,
I guess someone with good performance skills, or bluffing. I guess.
performance. Anybody good performance? I have a 5.
Or you could just run forward with the head and see what that does.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
You do see some light flickering from up ahead as well. So goblins, like everything else, don't have night vision. So they have to have light as well. So they're probably have a campfire or something like that. And in fact, you do smell wood smoke. So as you rush forward, I want to get. Let's have somebody make some kind. Is there intimidation? Is that one of the possible skills?
Yeah, I think the fact if we go with this like on a pike, showing
Not
that we killed
intimidation.
it,
You've got bluffing,
scary.
bluffing.
Bluffing might be.
Yeah, somebody who has bluffing. Why don't the highest bluffer make a bluff check for me?
I have 10.
Whoever that
Might be the
is.
highest.
10
Yeah,
is pretty
5.
good.
I'm
I got
6.
5.
I just want to see what happens,
Yeah.
right? So I just give it a roll.
All right. So the 10 is rolling. And the 10 fails.
Okay. So I'm gonna let them roll. Actually, I probably should have had them roll anyway. We'll have them roll awareness to see if they can tell that there's just 2 people carrying ahead. Yeah, they can tell. So they are. Well, you can't see them because you're holding this giant spider head. You come around the corner. Why don't you guys set yourselves up as you would have been? Actually, let me roll for each one individually because maybe 1 or 2 of them. Nope. Oh, he runs. Nope. Okay. So we're gonna have this guy. You hear one of them like, "Oh, it's found us!" and like he runs off in the direction of the back of the cave, leaving, just dropping his. Well, he wasn't even holding his weapon. As you guys filter into the room, you can see that there are 3 goblins left. 2 of them have their backs to you. The last one is kind of facing you from across fire, and yeah, that's where we're at. Let's go ahead and pull some improvised weapons. So the fire has a boiling cauldron on it that they're right next to. There is also a low-hanging branch, we'll call it a root, and some stalactites around with sharp rocks, which fits because there's actually one on the map that you can have access to. And we're going to let everybody... Oh, it's like all the initiative cards weren't back, so let me shuffle that real quick. And everybody pull initiative.
We're all afraid to do it now because we don't want to.
Ooh, 10, 4, 2. Oh, who got 1?
A.
Is that McCander?
Yeah.
Nice.
And the goblins are on 3. Okay, so number 1 is up first.
I think because if we're still stood here with the spider head in front of us, I think it's going to be more it's not going to be immediate to us. That
Why don't you swap your initiative card then with one of the others?
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do, yeah, I got a 9. I could shoot one of them.
But yeah, a 9 or a 10.
No, if you give it to their wizard, he can cast like fireball or something to shoot him.
If he wants to. Yeah, I mean, that fireball spell is, if you put the points into it, can hit multiple targets. Should he so choose.
I'm actually thinking I might swap with the goblins because me and Baston were heading up, and we've got this giant head in front of us. So yeah, I think I'm gonna swap with the goblins.
You're basically fully covered by the head. Like they're gonna have to come around the corner
Well,
of it.
that's it. They've literally got to either come around or go or attempt to go through it.
Or you have to drop it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going with the thought of it's not going to drop it until we have a little bit more advantage, shall we say? That's my thought. Anyway.
Okay.
That's my thought process anyway.
Oh, not that one. So I will roll for the goblins. Interesting. Okay. All right. So, the goblin at the back kind of brandishes his spear, holds it up above him, and shouts. So I need everybody to make a will check. One at a time. Jake, go. Will.
All right, will it is. But I have to do that twice because I am scared. So
Okay. So just roll 2d20. Take the highest one.
I have the way here. I'm going to do it at advantage because that's what we want.
Yeah.
The thing there, and I got 20, so that's
no.
Wow.
Scared.
Crit fail.
Correct. That is
So, yep. So you're going to have to roll on the fear table. We'll come back to that. Mark, go ahead and make your roll. Unfortunately, you can't check will to increase your will.
Just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Max.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Tony.
Tony the Tiger.
Made it.
Pass.
Strain.
16.
Is that a pass or a fail for pass?
Fail. Big fail.
Okay. So, Jake, roll a d8.
Yeah, I see it here. I have the table. D8. 4. I am pale.
You are pale. You turn as white as a sheet. Oh, you and all characters within 10 meters and inside of you become scared.
And I'm already scared, so that's fine.
So,
for you
yeah,
guys.
Everybody becomes scared.
I'm scared
Strain.
anyway.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you
D8.
can't be double scared.
A 1.
Enfeebled. Fear drains your energy and determination. You lose 2d6 willpower to a minimum of 0. What? That's weird. Oh,
Yeah,
you can't go under 0.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
And become disheartened. Oh, God. 10 willpower.
Ouch.
I'm disheartened anyway.
Okay. So, no change there. All right,
That
so...
leaves me with 3 willpower.
This is how a fight with goblins becomes lethal.
it's something, right? Okay, so... Interesting. Yep, ignored. All right, so this goblin kind of shuffles over to the side and takes a shot at Bastion. Just crazily pulling up the bow and firing instantly. Just a wild attack. But somehow, it being a wild attack, gets a boon on it. And their weapon. 12. And manages to strike 4.
Can I evade using my action?
Oh,
As a
you
reaction.
can. You haven't taken your action.
So I'll evade. I evade.
That.
So-
Okay. Arrow sails past you as you drop the spider head, or at least the part of it that you're holding, and jump to the side. The last goblin kind of scooches over to the side here so that he can see Chris and takes a shot at him.
All right.
Just a standard attack, though. Oh, and he gets a critical hit.
So I don't know if I could use my evade.
You can.
So it's hard to catch willpower. I'm going to use my 3 because I didn't go yet. So it's another 3 willpower. 1, 2, 3. And I can activate the ability when dodging an attack, getting a boon to the evade. So
Nice. Okay.
Evade. And
That looks like a
evade,
success.
Yeah, I think that would. Yeah, evade
Okay.
is 14. Cool.
Yeah, so again, fires an arrow at you, and you just kind of dodge to the side. So both of you have used your actions. Go ahead and throw them down by the initiative pool.
Okay.
Unless Bastion wants to spend more willpower to hold on to that too. Looks like a no. All right, so now we're on to 3. Now it's Makander's turn. You're still holding your part of the spider head, but you can drop the spider and pull a readied weapon as part of your action, so you don't have to.
Okay.
None of this half actions to pull your weapon or anything like that. Although I did love what you did earlier, Max, with like putting your knife in your teeth and using your bow. Yeah. I mean, essentially, you didn't spend an action to change, but that was a great little bit of description.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense. It's like if I lose a bow.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go. So both these two used arrows.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna go for this one first.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go first, right? Attack.
Yeah, get him. That'll hit. Roll that damage. Don't forget your D4 damage bonus.
Not too many. Nope.
Okay, so how do you kill that goblin?
Jesus. I'm just gonna go up to it and bring it down through its shoulder, and just bring my axe down through its shoulder.
Right through the collarbone, cleaving it in twain. Gotcha. So that goblin falls. That brings us to. I think we have Orlin and then Eodin. So Orlin, what are you going to do? This goblin has died.
Am I able to see them any because they're covered behind that big spider head?
No, the spider head has been dropped now, so it's on the ground. You can see these two.
Okay.
Past him.
All right. So with the improvised weapons, I'm trying to figure out how can I do something with a glow branch. Now the boiling cauldron, right? It says it's right there.
Yeah, I'll allow you to move into the place, grab the boiling cauldron, and throw it on them if you choose.
Oh, so actually I was thinking maybe doing a little something cool cinematic. So the thing is sitting there like, on wood or something over a fire, right?
Over a fire, yeah.
So what I was going to do, I was going to shoot the thing where the cauldron is, make it tip over and splash them.
Sure. I'll let you do that.
Okay.
So, doesn't require an attack roll because you're just basically activating the boiling cauldron. You are able to get both of them because they are within 4 meters of each other in kind of a cone from where the fire and the cauldron is. So you're just going to roll 2d6 damage.
Okie dokie.
Both of them have acted, so they cannot dodge or do anything, and they don't get armor. Not that they have much to begin with.
5. So they
okay. So yeah, you shoot the cauldron, which spills over and covers them both in whatever kind of boiling gruel that they were cooking, and deal 5 points of damage to each, which is significant for each of them. Okay. And that brings us to Aodin. And we're going to say the cauldron's used up.
Yep. So, stepping forward, it perhaps in front of Orlan at this point, holding out his hand, makes a gesture and says a guttural monosyllabic word, and he's going to fire some fireballs at these two guys
Okay.
that are just in front of him. So that's going to be at 4 points, I believe.
So
From his willpower.
right. I believe if you're firing at separate targets, you do have to roll an elementalism attack against each one. Fireball can be dodged. Parried as a... Oh, no, you don't. So you just have to roll your elementalism to cast.
Okay.
It's kind of like a magic missile. If you succeed at your casting roll, both fireballs will hit.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah.
But they would be able to dodge or parry as a range attack. However, they can't because they already acted. So
okay.
roll 6 damage against each of them
Okay.
as your twin
First
balls
one
of
takes
fire.
9.
Okay. Who takes 9 first, the melee guy or the rage guy? Well, now it doesn't matter. Tell me how you murder both of them.
So it will be a case of bap.
Is that the
as
hand
he steps
signal he
around.
does?
I mean, why the hell not? So he calls out this guttural monosyllabic word. One of them is caught directly in the chest and pretty much vaporizes him straight away. The second one, it kind of catches him a little lower down, and the fire catches. I imagine if these goblins have hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Dingy,
maybe
like dirty, yeah.
it sets this thing's hair on fire first, and this thing screams frantically, trying to pat itself down before succumbing to its injuries and
Dies
passing
hard.
away. Yeah.
Right. And the last one is still running and screaming and gets away. So, looking around, because it is getting quite late for some of you, and I want to kind of expedite this, you do find very quickly that this final entrance exit here does lead out and up some ways to an exit from the area. So you do find a way out. However, I would imagine that you would spend some time searching as well. And while if we were playing this longer term, I would allow you to make some additional treasure card pulls. A couple of important things that you find, which you would have had to use if you had come in through the back way, which I gave you all a chance to see signs of when you went in, because you could have come in either way. But the goblin who was the melee goblin who was holding the spear above his head and shouting at you, you get a closer look at it, and this spear was also crafted by Dolgrim.
Huh.
It's extreme, and I'm proud of its design, so I'm just going to tell you what it does. So it's a shorter spear meant to be thrown, designed primarily with Bastion in mind. And when you throw it, it'll actually return to your hand.
Ooh.
But as it rips itself out of the target that you've struck, it does an additional 1d6 slashing damage as it pulls itself out to return to your hand. So,
Wow.
would have had that. And then one of the goblins also had another icon of Dolgrim on him. So you would have been able to leave through the main entrance, should you so choose to. But yeah, you have essentially cleared the forge, and taking some time to gather your pilfered goods and get yourself together and wait for the weather to pass to travel back. You now have information about the forge's whereabouts, exact information, and that it is accessible, as well as having the icons to hand over to the dwarven merchant, who then pays you the 125 gold that you're able to split amongst yourselves. He does not ask you for any of the ill-gotten gains that you found. As far as he's concerned, that whatever you have found there is part of, the payment for finding it and clearing it. And that is it for Dolgrim's Forge.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
Very nice, Glenn.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Yeah.